Welcome to the Best Fork and Friend podcast. Y'all ready for the show tonight? Yeah, I'm ready. All right. I want you to meet all my friends. Let's meet them. We're Best Fork and Friends. We're not spooning or knifing. We're forking, not fighting. We're talking about forks you use at the dinner table, baby. We're not spooning or knifing. We're forking, not fighting. Yeah. Hey, welcome to the Best Fork and Friends podcast. I have Jesi and Kate with me here today. I'm going to let them introduce themselves so they could, you can know whose voice is voice.
Hi, it's Jesi.
And it's Kate.
All right, there we go. Obviously, I'm Branson. But what I wanted to start with today was if you guys could go anywhere in the world for a trip, where would you go?
Jesi, you want to go first?
Sure.
I got to think.
Yeah. So I would love to go on a tour of Italy.
A tour of Italy.
Yeah, like, because I really would love a European tour, but for a week, really, that would just be like Italy, because you can't do all of Europe in a week. So
Yeah, you might not be able to do all of Italy in a week.
Right, but at least like the main spots that I'd like to go. So
What would that be, like Rome or?
yeah, like Rome, Tuscany, and I know it's not part of Italy, but like Greece,
Yeah.
would be awesome too.
Sicily?
Sure.
That's technically not part of Italy either, but.
Well, it's an island of Italy, right?
Oh, yeah, and we got Joel with us here today. I forgot to introduce Joel.
That's okay. Everybody knows me. It's no big deal.
But yeah, tour of Italy would be.
Tour of Italy.
Yeah.
And where's Tuscany? Really? I always just see it like on food items at stores.
Yeah, it's like wine country of Italy.
Okay. Is
Yeah.
that like north, south?
I don't know geographically where it's at.
How you gonna get
I
get
think
there?
No,
it's
I
in
wanna
Italy.
go.
It's in Italy.
Yeah, it's in Italy.
I know
That's
it's
all
in
that matters.
Italy.
Is it like at the toe of the boot or the heel of the boot?
I'll look it up.
or-
I'll look it up.
Not sure. I've just I've heard the food is really good
Yeah.
in Tuscany, and just seeing like images of it on TV and movies with like the wine country, it looks so pretty. I think it would be neat to see.
It's in the northern part.
Northern part.
Northern
okay.
part. See
Yeah,
that
Florence,
red
huh?
spot
Okay.
there? Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Florence, big city in
Yeah.
Tuscany.
I think I would like to see Venice
Yeah.
the most.
That
it's
would be
just-
cool.
You think that thing's ever gonna sink?
eventually will.
You think
Totally.
how
You
hasn't
wanna-
it already?
You want to
know?
ride in a gondola?
Yeah.
Those
kinda.
are those boats
a little
that they
bit,
take.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is it what cartoon is that they have a gondola scene? Is that All Dogs Go to Heaven?
I don't remember. Wow. Now I
Like
got to
when they're going like to the
I have
underworld,
no
or
idea.
underworld.
Oh.
They go to the underworld
does that
in that
ring a
movie?
bell to you? Like,
Yeah.
Or is this
Yeah, I
a
think
different
it
movie?
is. I think it is All Dogs Go to Heaven, where they
Really?
have the underworld like
never seen
gondola
it.
ride.
Yeah, and it's like the ship transporting
so
you to
dark,
the
though.
afterlife.
Yeah, it's like
or
a dark
dog
part of
hell.
the-
I don't know. I need to rewatch that movie.
I
Dog
do too. I
hell.
haven't seen
It's
it
been a
in
long. I used to
long
love
time.
that movie.
Mm-hmm. It's so sad though.
Yeah,
Charlie.
I've never seen this movie, guys.
Oh
you've
my
never seen
gosh.
All Dogs Go
I
to
actually
Heaven?
haven't seen it either.
No.
Oh my gosh!
Look,
Really?
we're talking about travel right now.
What
Okay? Let's
about-
not make fun of
Joel-
the movies I haven't seen. There's
Joel
a
would
lot of them.
probably
Okay.
cry.
Have
Joel
you seen
would cry at All
Aristocats at
Dogs.
least?
I
Oh, I've
can't.
seen that
Speaking
one.
of pet movies, I mean Aristocats.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah,
one.
it's a great one.
But not all dogs go. So you're more of a cat person.
I think historically I'm more of a cat person.
I gotcha. All right. Kate, where do you want to go?
And are you a cat or a dog? person?
Except dog hell.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to watch that movie now. No, I don't know if there's anywhere that I like would want to go for an entire week.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to choose, I'm just going to go to Australia.
Really?
And I'm going to see all the scary shit all at once. And it's going to be awesome. They got
Interesting.
like spiders everywhere and like snakes and
And everything's like oversized
I want to see it all.
too.
And what I'm just scared to fly, so it'd be
Really?
hard to get me to go anywhere for a week. But like going to Australia would be awesome, I think, because the nature's so much different.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of like that, like Madagascar, like how everything's way totally different there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
Yeah.
crazy the different kind of animals Australia has.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so many of them are poisonous.
Yeah.
So
why do
many
they all
ways
have to?
to kill
Why do they
Everything
all?
is trying to kill you.
Why do they all have to be poisonous?
Yeah. I mean,
know.
I am like mesmerized by the fact that there are so many poisonous things in one continent.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's nuts, and I love it, and I want to see it at least one time.
Kate, you said you love it. I think you
do.
used the wrong word
I
right
think
there.
I think it's so crazy that like I have to see it, and I want to see all the scary shit, like just in like one day, and then
really.
the rest of the time I can like go see some sea life and stuff, or maybe some like
That's also trying to
kangaroos
kill
or
you.
whatever.
I mean, they got like jellyfish and stuff,
do.
and that'll kill you, and
It-
crazy.
stonefish, and
Aren't their waters like really shark infested too?
oh, yes, I'm sure with laser beams on their head. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I want to go. That would probably be the only place, but I only want to stay for like 3 days.
3 days.
Yeah,
Going anywhere for a long period of time seems to. Like,
a
I'm
week
just
is a long time, and I
I'm
think
like,
about
all
the
right, I'm
money.
ready to go hide in my bedroom now.
Well, think about so we've been on cruises before.
Yeah.
Those are week long.
Yeah, but
They
you're
don't-
like going so far. Like you get to see all these different places.
Not just
Which
one
is why
place.
if I had to do a week in Australia, I would fly to Australia, see all the scary shit, and then get on a cruise ship and go around like half of Australia. And then I would be totally
I
happy.
don't think I could do
Like
a
down
cruise.
by like New Zealand.
You don't want to do a
Yeah.
cruise?
I don't think
Yeah.
I could.
Are you
Really?
afraid of being on a boat?
It'd be too long to think in that open water. And then once we got to a port, I wouldn't want to get back on the ship. I'd just be like, all right,
Okay,
I'm good
okay.
here.
Yeah.
Guess I live here now.
So Alexis is very scared of the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
just the unknown of everything.
It's fast. Yeah.
And she went on a cruise. And by the time we got done with the cruise, she was ready to turn 21 so that she could book her own cruise with her
Really?
friends. So,
Really?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it
maybe I'd
took
be
it
the
took me
same
like
way.
15 years to finally get on a cruise because I was like, I'm not doing it. Y'all
Yeah.
are crazy.
Yeah.
We
My kids
convinced
have
loved
Kate.
it.
It took a lot of convincing,
yeah.
A lot.
and even like the drive down, I'm pretty sure she was like, "Fuck this, fuck this. I'm
Oh,
not
I
getting
was-
on this boat." No
Even the
way."
drive on the highway would mess with me.
You
Like,
think so?
well, when I
Like
get on the highway,
anticipation.
I think like, all right, somebody's gonna have a heart attack in the other like
Lane,
Why
lane
are
of
you
the
yeah.
highway.
thinking that way? So like,
I don't know. That's why I can't go to bed at night. Not because of the highway shit, but just my
So your
brain's
brain
just
almost
constantly
thinks
like,
in like a Final Destination kind of
Oh my
way
God.
all
no,
the time.
yeah, or just what's the worst thing could happen right now?
Wow.
Well, I will say that for the first cruise I went on, I had emergency anxiety medicine, and I
Yeah.
took quite a bit of it.
and did you got that prescribed?
Yes.
So that's something you could do. Like if we ever convinced you to go with us, Branson, you can make it a quick doctor's appointment. Say, look, I'm getting ready to go on a trip.
Yep.
I'm really,
Numb me.
yes, give me the
Make
drugs.
me not feel.
They
I
will
would-
hook you up.
I would love to go on a vacation with Branson. I'm just, saying, I think a
Yeah.
cruise would be
Oh,
a
I've
would be
been
a lot of
places.
fun.
I've been places.
Well,
It's
I know,
just
but like I want to,
getting there and getting back.
I want to take everybody on cruises. That's my favorite vacation ever.
Don't you wish like teleportation existed?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that just be so awesome?
I'd be in Australia right now.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to go to Tuscany.
What if
too.
you just, all right, I'm going to
Coming to
Australia.
Tuscany with me.
Then you end up in somebody's like bedroom, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Well,
Kind of like Monsters Inc.
I was supposed to go to Australia.
Accessing people's rooms with their doors.
You could be in Australia in somebody's room.
and that's cool. There'd be some scary shit in there, I'm sure.
Yeah. Animals just ready to just kill you.
Where do you want to go, Joel?
If I had no like restrictions on where I was going to go, because I say this because like Jesi and I, obviously we're going to be vacationing around the world together, most likely, right? Like, so I think about
Maybe.
like places. I mean, there's always a chance maybe
Unless I
some.
take Kate instead.
yeah.
So we've already kind of agreed on places that we both are good with. So those tend to be the ones that prioritize. But if I had my choice, I'd like to go to Japan. I think Japan is a really cool country. Number one, because I would feel safer there. So some countries I'm a little leery about being an American in. And then second, they're really friendly to Americans, and I like.
Despite what happened.
Huh?
Despite what happened,
Yeah.
they're very friendly.
You talking about World War II?
Yeah, the bombs, man.
Well, yeah, but we're like that happened. That happened.
I know.
They're
I'm just
okay
saying they're
with us
very
now. Like we're
forgiving, like accepting. We got a good relationship
yeah, yeah. I think so.
compared to a lot of other countries. You know, that nothing's
True.
happened between us.
True. So I think Japan would probably, and I love Pokemon. I love video games. Those are personal reasons I would want to go, and I think it's like and I love sushi too. I'd like to eat some authentic Japanese sushi in Japan.
I didn't try sushi till maybe 5 years ago. I went down to Florida, and we just went to a sushi restaurant down there. And it was pretty good. Like I was surprised. It was not what I thought it was.
What did you think it was?
I just
gonna
thought
be?
it was all raw, nasty, gooey, gunky stuff. But it's actually very, very good.
I agree.
You were thinking of like sushimi, where it's the raw.
Yeah, well, maybe, but
Fish.
I ate raw fish not too long ago. I got some sushi from China King over in Vandalia,
Yummy.
and I got a tuna roll, and that was raw, and it was good. It smelled like raw fish, though, but it tasted good.
It's about all the flavors.
Yeah.
That meld everything together.
Yeah, at first I was like, whoa, maybe I got some bad sushi here. But I was like, oh, no, it's all right. I ate it. It was good.
What about you? Where you want to go?
That's a thing, man. I told you, like if I could go anywhere for a week, I would trade it for a month off of work at home.
You just staycation for a month?
Yeah.
You wouldn't get bored?
No, man. Everything that goes on in this head, man.
I know there's a lot going on.
No, maybe somewhere. I don't know. Utah seems like it might be interesting because like their countryside looks a lot different than I thought it did. It's sometimes like very beautiful. So like Utah, Montana, something like that. Something that would like I've seen tropical stuff in Cancun or something like that. Like might be cool. Like as far as
Mexico?
like tropical.
Yeah.
But like something that just gives you like the awe of God, like as far as nature wise, would be interesting to me, rather than like man-made stuff.
I'd like
That's
to see
really cool.
Utah too.
Like just something so vast and it's just nature.
I'd like to see the redwoods or the sequoias,
Yeah.
the giant
Yeah.
ancient trees that have been around for hundreds, if not thousands of years.
I don't know if that one still stands that you could like drive underneath. You remember seeing pictures of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of them.
Really?
Yeah.
That's just amazing. Like amazing how big that is.
Yeah.
But another thing that I wanted to bring up that was on the list was 3 bucket list items. But I kind of see like going on vacation anywhere falls underneath that.
Yeah.
But are there any goals or stuff in life that would be like a bucket list item that you guys would be interested in? That you want to do before you go to dog hell? On the gondola?
Before we ride that
The gondola.
gondola. There's all kinds of stuff I want to do.
Yeah, I can't make my mind up, to
Like
be honest.
it's
I was
really
looking
hard
at
to
things.
like figure out like exactly if I had to pick just a certain number, what would be my top? Because man, I don't know. Like I want to go and watch like a real Broadway play.
Oh yeah.
Like I want to do that so
That's a good one.
Yeah.
in
bad.
New York.
That would be
yeah.
interesting, yeah.
But I don't really want to go to New York. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But like that's something that I'm like, if I know that I'm gonna die in the next couple months, like that's something I want to do, and I will spend the money to do it. Another thing would be, I don't know, I want to try some like really great food, like Michelin star rated food, because I've never done that before either.
Like the tiny plate, like tiny servings, plates, the
Yeah.
very
Lots of
artistic
And
stuff.
I want it to
Courses.
be like 9 different
You know it's going
tiny
to taste
plates.
probably good,
Heck
you know,
yeah.
but it's just the smaller portions. Like it's just more about the
Gotta do it, man.
presentation than anything. That would be interesting.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Like,
that
I-
would be awesome.
I just want to do it. And I've looked at doing it at different places that we vacation, and it's so expensive. I'm like, this has to be a bucket list item because I'm not going to spend
Like, how much is it?
$800. It's like $800 for just one person.
Yeah, like
and then you have to have reservations like almost a year in advance unless you're like a celebrity or
Wow.
something.
so it's
you
like getting
know?
a tattoo.
Yeah,
Well, good,
exactly.
a good
A good
tattoo.
tattoo.
You got
Yeah, you can go get a shitty tattoo anytime you want to.
Yeah.
Good tattoo, you're waiting a year.
Yeah, and paying a fortune for
But
it.
if you're gonna spend $2,000 on a meal, it's probably like a maybe once or possibly twice in a lifetime type deal. Like you want to like set aside money and time to do that specifically.
Yeah, and then my third thing, I would hurry up and publish like a memoir.
Really?
Yeah, something I've always wanted to do. I
Always-
like to write.
I always wanted to write a book for some reason. I've done a lot
Yeah.
of
Me
a lot
too.
of various things, not very well, but I've done them to say I'd done them. And writing a book was one.
I don't think you
can
give
get 'em-
yourself enough credit.
You can, thanks.
I like your work.
But you can get a you can get a book published on Amazon,
You can, yeah.
and they don't even like spell check it, or that's all you. Well, whatever you write, they publish.
Wow.
Like obviously, if it was like hateful stuff, they probably wouldn't allow that. But I had some friend that was like kind of delusional in his thoughts. He used to be my friend, and he wrote a book and published it, and then I looked at it, and it was just errors everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, well, I guess this is not like as accomplishing as I thought, because they'll just publish anything as long as you pay for it.
I would
Like I thought
definitely
it
make
took
sure
more
that mine was
talent.
edited.
You know what I'm saying? It takes it doesn't take as much talent as I thought. You just got to have the will to do it.
That's really cool, Kate. I like all your ideas. The only thing I want to ask is like with your back to the food part, because that's my favorite. I would be afraid that I would be like this was $800. You know what I mean? Like I would
Like
be,
disappointed?
yeah, like I don't know.
You think your expectations would be too
I would.
high?
They would be
so you
really
would
high.
feel
Like
extra
I'm
critical?
talking. I better jizz in my pants. It's that good. If I'm spending $800, you know, like that's how I would.
Sometimes when I eat something really good, I'm just like, oh man, I could beat my head off the table. And I don't know why I think that, but it just like,
Yeah.
man.
But I will say, I mean, if you're going to a place
Such
that's
a random thing.
That's what I.
That's so good.
Hey,
I mean, some people like slam their hand down because it's so good.
And that's just what I feel at the moment. I just,
Yeah.
it's like, wow.
when was the last time that you did that you remember?
Well, it hasn't been lately. I'll tell you that.
I haven't been eating it. You need to go on vacation,
Yeah.
not staycation.
Staycation. I like staycations. I had one
I
today.
like staycations too. I can't lie.
When you got stuff to do around the house, you got hobbies, that gives you an opportunity to, do those or be creative at times.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but I do. I'll tell you, I've been itching to go somewhere lately. I tell Jesse, we'll watch a TV show or a movie, and they're on the ocean or
Yep.
they're in a tropical area, and I'm like, oh God, I want to go on vacation. I know we went on one September, which that's like not that long ago, but it seems like forever ago, and I had a good time in Mexico. I really did, but there's something about cruises that just seemed like there was more to do regularly and more food, and
you think maybe that's because everything's compacted into one ship?
maybe. And I really liked.
It's like a city.
It is like a
is.
city. It's like a city or a hotel on the water,
He's a city boy.
kinda, and
But you also get to see stuff too.
Yeah, literally.
There's-
sea stuff.
See stuff.
there's really good benefit. Like, so what I liked about the resort was you were there. Once you were there, you were there, and there were a lot of similarities, but I liked that I could be on the beach every single day. I liked that some of the pools were not overcrowded. Like you get on a cruise, a lot of the pools are very crowded during the day, and it can be a little bit overcrowded on a cruise. But on a cruise, there seemed like there was more entertainment options throughout the entire day. Whereas at the resort, it was kind of like they had a few day events, but it was mostly like they had one big show at night, and
At nighttime, yeah.
that was about it.
I
And
gotcha.
those were cool.
And on the ships, you can do like trivias during the day.
Yeah, there's lots of
There's, like, fun
competitions.
activity things. Yeah.
Mhm. There's a lot for kids to do too. Like we went to an all-inclusive that was just adults, which was nice too. Believe me, I don't love everybody else's kids all the time. I don't know. I guess I'd have to go back on a cruise again to kind of weigh it, but I'm looking forward to the next time I'm on a big boat. And when I mean a
I'm on a
big boat,
boat.
not one of them
Big
tiny little
one.
boats, because the littler boats, you feel them like as long.
Scarier.
Oh, no, I puked my guts out on the last cruise. we went
Well,
Yeah.
so
Well, we all were sick.
we went on a smaller boat for the last cruise that we all went on, and it was fine every day except for the last one. And the last one we had rough water. And the smaller the boat it is, the more you feel the water. The bigger the boat, the less you feel it. And we woke up and
It was bad.
everybody was not feeling
Really?
good.
It was rough.
And it's such a weird feeling being seasick. Like,
Because it's not stopping. Like,
not.
what's
No.
making you sick is continuing to happen, huh?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
The only time we felt okay was when we were sleeping. So we slept like most of the morning.
You have to sleep to reset you recalibrate your brain.
Really?
Yeah, you like your equilibrium and get it all back
guess
to
I-
normal. And
Kind of know what you guys say, but like, I remember as a kid or just being younger and being out on the boat all day with like the family out on
Yeah.
the lake. Then you get off, and I don't know if you guys ever had this happen, but
The
you
sea
lay
legs?
down,
And you still feel
you
it?
still feel like you're on the
Yes.
boat.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that kind of what it's like?
That's
or-
exactly what
Yeah.
it's like. Yeah. It's exactly like that. And you also, if you're out at sea for a few days and then you're out of port and you start walking, you'll kind of notice, like you think you're walking in a straight line, but you're
you got
kind of
wobbly legs.
veering. It's not drastic.
Yeah.
but
It's just-
everyone's doing it, so
Yeah.
it's cool.
yeah. So like, every like 10 steps, you'll be like another foot to your left. And then another 10 steps, you're like 2 feet to the right. Like, it's not crazy, but it's just you get used to it being on the boat for so
It's because
long.
you're compensating for being on the ship.
It's like your equilibrium is just still doing stuff. So that was Kate. Sorry, we like went off.
No,
on a-
we.
but that was
That's good.
Kate's
Yeah, we-
bucket list things. So
You got any bucket list stuff? Jesi?
I mean, we kind of like already talked about
Yeah.
few, like my bucket list stuff, because visit Australia was one of mine.
Yeah.
And then the European tour
Uh-huh.
vacation like is another major one for me. Not just Italy, but like the whole area. Like that would be awesome. And then I want to see the national parks, which we kind of talked about too, with like the redwoods, sequoias, But I want to see like Grand Canyon and Yellowstone and all the like major national
Yeah.
parks.
You want to go to Yellowstone?
Yeah.
That kind of
That's
freaks
my
me out.
nightmare.
the super volcano.
Yeah,
My
Dude,
nightmare.
it's gonna explode the time I go to it.
Yeah, it's exactly
Yes.
Because
right.
I'm the main character, guys. You know?
Or
This is
like
Branson's
fall
movie.
into one of those like holes that like sucks you in, and then they
Yeah.
never like they think that you're just gone. Well, you are, because the earth like swallows you up.
And it's like acid, right? So dissolves you and it's
something
hot,
crazy.
right? Boils you
I am-
instantly.
No, thank you to Yellowstone.
Pierce Bronson got like in trouble not too
Oh, yeah, he
long
got
ago
fined.
for veering off the path.
Yep.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, it's
James
big
Bond.
big no.
Don't want the earth to swallow you up.
I
Right?
just
Not
wanna
not only for your safety, but like the ecosystem, as well.
Yeah.
Like
That too.
I just want to see him for the sake of saying that I
been there.
was able,
Yeah.
was able to go.
Maybe I'll fly over it.
That'll be whenever the volcano is like
Yeah.
spurting up, and then we just literally the airplane will just fly
Which
through
is
the lava.
I didn't even think of it till right now. Pierce Bronson was in a volcano movie. Remember?
Yeah, I
You
think
remember that? What is
Then
it?
why did he go to Yellowstone?
Yeah.
he wanted to live it in real life. What is that? I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it's Dante's Peak.
Dante's Peak. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I've
In
never
which,
seen
if
it.
like, I guarantee if we watched it again today, it would look really crappy.
Probably.
But when I watched it younger, it was like, oh my gosh,
This is
like
so cool.
this is could happen.
Yeah.
Because it was like a volcano where there wasn't a volcano, right? Like, it was coming up in places that it shouldn't.
I've seen
from
it,
what
but
I
it's
remember.
been
I've seen pieces
30
of it, I
years.
think, but it's been a really
Kate's
long
seen
time.
nothing.
That is 100% accurate.
okay. You've seen some movies.
Not any of the ones we've talked about today.
Well, since we're talking about movies and we've veered off, like, have you guys seen the new Roadhouse?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
I
you
have
guys
seen that.
seen the old Roadhouse?
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, see, I haven't seen either, but
You
I
haven't seen either.
No, I have now, but I watched the first one and then the new one right after it.
Yeah.
So I got instant like
Comparison.
yeah, it's fresh in my mind. First time I ever seen it. Seen the second.
We're getting
one.
a movie review. Two movie reviews. Here we go.
But I want to know what you guys like thought about the new one.
Well, I'll go first. You want me to
Don't
tell
compare.
Don't compare. Just tell what I thought about the new one.
Yeah, did you like it? That's all I want. Like, did you like it? That's all I want to know.
I did like it. I thought it was entertaining.
You liked it.
And I was a little apprehensive about Jake Gyllenhaal in like a action
Okay.
flick, but he pulled it off. I think he did good.
Did you like the new one?
Yeah, I did like the new one. I definitely like the more modern feel of it.
The more modern feel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Before I give you like what I think about both of them, I just wanted to know how you felt about the new one.
Yeah.
Did you like the new one? And
I
you haven't
thought-
seen the old one, so
Yeah, I thought the new one was extremely entertaining. The one dude, like the bad guy or whatever.
Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Wait,
he
there's two
cannot
bad guys,
act.
though.
It was Conor McGregor.
You're talking about Conor
He's-
McGregor. Yeah.
Yeah.
His character is so dumb. But it was super entertaining. So, I
Yeah.
mean, like a lot of movies I'll only watch one time. And I told Paulie, I was like, I will watch that one again.
His
It's
character
because
seemed kind
Conor
of
McGregor's
rushed.
naked in the beginning scene. That's the only reason
But
you like
yeah,
it.
I
Is
want.
he naked in the beginning?
Do you
Yeah,
not
he's-
remember? He's like walking
There's like
around
a big
naked.
scene. It's a long scene too,
yeah.
and unneeded. Like it
It's
makes no
absolutely
fucking sense at all.
unnecessary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had completely forgotten
Most
about
of-
it. But yeah, he like gets that coat and puts that coat on.
Yeah.
That guy like beats up that guy.
Which,
Yeah.
side note, he looks super buff. Like, compared to what I remember seeing him in UFC, he's always been more
Well,
like lean.
After he broke his leg, like there was like rumors that he was probably on like steroids.
Oh, because
He got,
he
like,
is
huge
He is jacked
out of nowhere.
in that movie.
Not saying he is, but that was the rumor. But I watched both movies concurrently, and compared to the new one, I thought the second one had more plot and made a lot more sense. It seemed
You thought
more,
the
it
newer
se-
one made more sense?
No, the old one.
You thought the old one
Yeah,
made more
it
sense.
had more plot, made more sense, had more continuity. I just like the old one compared to the new one by far. The new one was all right for an action movie that makes no sense. I thought there was horrible CGI at times in the new movie. Like
Yeah.
there's a part where like there's a boat hanging over the bar and it falls, and it just looks really bad. Like it looks really fake. But I thought the new one had like no plot at points and nothing made sense compared to the old one.
Yeah, I should probably watch the old one at some point.
And the old guy that he goes and
His
rents.
mentor.
Yeah,
yeah.
the old guy. No, not that. Two old guys are missing in the new one. His mentor, like, which is Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then also the old guy that he rents the barn from.
Yeah.
Both of those characters aren't in the new one at all.
No,
Really.
but it's because they splice. They merge the old movie. There's the bar owner and there's the farmer that he rents from, and they just put him into one character with the bar owner in Florida because she's the one who rents him the. In the new movie, she rents him the boathouse or whatever.
Yeah,
But there's something
just-
about that character in the original that brings like a more heartfelt feeling whenever like stuff starts happening
Sure.
later in the movie, like the barn, gets burned and all that stuff.
Kate's like,
It's just
we're ruining this movie
I'm
for
sorry.
her.
no,
by the
it's
way.
okay. You're not ruining
but
it.
his character, it just you felt it more.
yeah.
In that moment.
And things that happened to him, you felt
Yeah.
like in the new one, the dock owner or whatever it is, like is barely there. He's just like, watch out for that crocodile or alligator. Ate my dog, and then that's it for him.
Yeah.
He has a small part later on, like towards the end, but again, it's not significant.
And then speaking of Conor McGregor's character, like Kate said, like made no sense. All he's
So
doing is
dumb.
walking around going the whole time.
Yeah,
I
and he's
feel
just
like-
he's doing that stupid swagger
Yeah.
walk.
Yeah.
that
And
he's
there's the
constantly
part
doing.
where he's like drinking out of the pineapple, or not the pineapples, the
coconut.
coconuts, and he's like throwing them in and he wrecks into the palm tree, and then he gets out and he's like, let's see what's going on here. But nobody's there. But that part makes no sense at all.
It's super
Yeah.
cheesy. Yeah. I feel
Like
like
it just feels like there's parts of the movie that were just thrown together, like because that's all they had.
I think it was the characters because they really were heavy on the comedy side on the new one, and also the action
There was more
on the
comedy.
new one than the first one. Like I was saying with that barn owner guy in the original, it was just there was more heart in the characters in general, not just with him, but with all the characters in that in the original than there is, I think, in the new one. Because like even the hardware store owner in the original,
Yeah, even that.
that was felt more. I feel
Than
like
the bookstore.
Yeah,
I liked the bookstore.
I did like
I
the
liked
bookstore.
the bookstore too.
Yeah, but you never knew the hardware store guy.
yeah,
That's true. I don't. That's true. I don't.
There's
Yeah.
there's a lot of correlation, and
Yeah.
they just kind of they changed a few things to make it not a
I'm just
carbon copy.
I'm just saying that it shouldn't be called Roadhouse. They should have just called it something else.
Like boat.
And they
house.
named the bar Roadhouse. The bar wasn't named Roadhouse in the first one.
No, do you remember
The
what it was
Double
called?
Deuce.
The Double Deuce. That's right.
And what about Sam Elliott? Since it seems like you have a better memory of both movies probably than me.
We watched the new one like 2 weeks ago, and I've watched the original Roadhouse many times. I love that movie.
So what about Sam Elliott's character?
I'm sad
there-
that there wasn't a
Was
Sam
there
Elliott
not
character.
Nothing in the new one that you thought
No,
was similar?
because the story of the old one is that Dalton, his profession is to be a cooler.
Yeah.
But in the new movie, he's not really a bar cooler. He's a former UFC fighter
With
who
anger
retired,
with anger issues.
who like murdered his best friend or
In the
one of his
ring.
friends.
Well,
in
yeah,
the
they
ring.
didn't even like really say like have that.
But that had to develop. I think that's why they did that, so that way you didn't like it was.
it was their attempt
it-
to make him a deeper character.
Yeah.
It was
Poor attempt.
well. At first, I was like, what is this? Like, it didn't make any sense. He just goes to these bars. He fights in these, UFC style fights in bars to win money, and it didn't make sense at first. But it did. They closed that gap, I think, at the end.
Yeah. I just wish that it would have been more Roadhousey, being Roadhouse.
There was less.
Like I like the idea that the person was a cooler. That was his profession. Like it made less sense that he was sought out. Particularly for that. But maybe you don't even have coolers these days. Like this. I've never even heard of a cooler like before watching the first Roadhouse
Right.
that same day.
like you just think of them as like
Bouncers.
or
Yeah.
whatever.
Bars used to be badass back in the day.
I
As a
guess
thing,
so,
and
man.
now they're all like cool and we do karaoke and stuff.
Well,
This generation has gotten soft.
you want to know one thing I think maybe makes us like the other movie better, or me and you, because I like Jake Gyllenhaal's, but I do
I
think
liked Jake Gyllenhaal's character, just him specifically out of the whole movie. I think the rest of the movie was very poorly put together.
I think that there's loss. Okay, so in the old movie, the barn at the farm, and the barn burns down, and the parts store burns down, and Sam Elliott's character gets killed, and
This movie sounds intense.
it's very intense.
Yeah.
and it's like
And there's still a lot of parts we didn't ruin for you.
Oh, it's okay.
it's a similar thing, but except it happens like in the Midwest or in the mountains or something like that. And the premise of the old one is that there's this really rich guy who basically owns all the
The whole
town,
town.
except he doesn't own the Double Deuce or something like that. And like it's the one thing that he can't have. So that's the similarity. Like in the new movie, the guy's
that
trying to
was
he's trying to make the resort, and he needs that one plot of land. But
Yeah.
the
But
back,
that was loose with the other action stuff that was going on in the new one.
Yeah,
Like,
the new one was way more action.
there was a ton
It
of
was like
action.
action comedy,
yeah.
not much plot. Maybe it was meant to be that way. It's just like I'm just saying. After watching both, I was more of a fan of the first.
So they were probably just going for entertainment then.
Yeah,
They were.
and it's the highest grossing Prime movie ever, I believe.
Because
At this
I
point.
didn't fall asleep during it. Because I fall asleep during a lot
And maybe
of
that's
movies.
Me too.
Another thing is they know people have lower attention spans now, so they're able
That's
to
true.
True.
jump back and forth with no plot and just this happens, and it's more geared towards modern day society.
Yeah. That's a good
But
point.
I was like, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I'm a story person too.
Yeah,
Whenever
like,
I watch something.
I don't know. After watching the first one, I thought, oh well, maybe I'll connect a little bit with these characters, but it seemed like there was no purpose for you to connect with them at all. And also, like Conor McGregor's character ends up killing the son of the guy that he's working for. He's like, "I'm here for your dad," and then just all of a sudden
was
he
really
kills
good,
him
by the
out of
way.
nowhere, and it's
Yeah,
like,
that-
well, how's that make
That was
sense?
dumb. I agree.
Well, and then the sheriff at the end is like, "Get out of here." Whenever
Yeah.
he was out to get him, like the entire movie,
Yeah,
that seemed like out of
What?
character. For
Maybe because
him,
the son was dead, so he knew he didn't have anybody to really answer to anymore.
I guess, yeah, that makes sense.
Or just that-
it just seemed so like 180, for that character.
Yeah, true.
Did you guys know that there's a scene after the credits apparently,
No.
and Conor McGregor's character's still alive? Like he beats
Oh,
up
we did watch that.
Oh,
beats
yeah.
everybody up in the hospital and walks out.
Yes, yeah,
even
we
though he
saw
got
that.
stabbed in the heart.
Yeah, like how many times he was like
Yeah.
stabbed in the body, and
I'm sure that was probably something where he's like, "Look, I'll be in your movie, but
I
But
can't.
you're
not
die.
not killing
I'm
me.
not gonna
Yeah.
die.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I can be defeated, but I'm
Because
not
in a
gonna
real
die."
fight, I would beat Jake Gyllenhaal's ass. That's probably what he was, which he would, but
And they were going for star power. They wanted to throw Conor McGregor in there, and
which is probably the whole reason they tied Jake's character back to UFC was just to be able to use
Sure.
McGregor.
use McGregor. Yeah, I feel like that it should have been called something else.
and there were only like a couple big stars, and the other one that's kind of weird and bizarre is Post Malone at the very beginning.
Yeah, I didn't like.
Oh, I
like-
thought that
like-
was great.
You
I
liked
loved
it?
It was
I
cool, but
did.
it was
But it's like he should have
different.
been somebody else besides the guy who is the second most badass person, apparently in the country,
Mm-hmm.
is Post Malone, and he's out of shape.
But I thought it was really cool because like he's singing the opening song and then he's the one fighting, and I thought that was cool.
Oh, yeah.
I liked that about it
Okay,
I like
understand.
Posty.
because I literally was like,
I don't
watching
dislike
and-
Post Malone. I just didn't see him as the badass guy, and he's just flabby.
yeah,
Maybe it's because of
Beating up.
personality thing. Because Posty's got like big personality,
Yeah.
and he's really likable. He's got a lot of charisma.
I would
Yeah.
interview that dude. I would love talking to him. I
He
feel like
seems so cool.
I've heard a lot of.
He seems
Like-
like a gentle, like loving person
Yeah, yeah.
that cares about people. Like,
Yeah,
he's
having a
like
good time,
completely
feeling
off
good.
the grid right now. So
Is he?
yeah,
he's not making music.
I think he's stepping away from everything. The last I heard,
I hadn't heard
just
that.
for a while because he needs to collect himself, and he's got the kid now, and
Oh, I didn't know he had a kid.
yeah. So he's like changed everything that he does, and he eats differently, and he doesn't drink anymore, and he's like quitting smoking, and he's lost like 80 pounds, and
I knew he lost weight.
Yeah.
He looks
like bought a ranch.
better.
Like
You know, it's probably not the easiest thing being a celebrity, except for the money part. You know, I imagine it can be pretty taxing. If you were to like change places with any celebrity, if you could change places with them for a week, who would it be?
That's one of the questions.
It's a good,
Good
segue.
segue.
What-
That was
segue.
really good.
Yeah.
You ruined the segue though by
By mentioning that there's
My
one of the
bad.
questions.
Edit that out. Edit that out.
No,
You better put
I
your
like
hand
that.
up for the
Sorry, I
edit.
put my hand up there.
So I had to think a lot about this. And I finally went with Kristen Wiig as like probably my first one just because she's funny, first of all, but she seems like her work is with a lot of fun people too. And it would be cool to like just be with that kind of group of people. And then my second option was Jennifer Lawrence because she's funny too, but she seems like such a badass too. Like, I don't know. I just like their personalities. Both ladies' personalities are really cool.
Yeah, I really like Kristen Wiig. I feel like she like had made SNL sucked for a while, and then like Kristen Wiig was on it and just iconic characters, you know. and-
Big time.
And then she recently hosted again. Did you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, and it was actually good. I enjoyed it, but there was characters that I was like, I hope they bring back Doll Hands or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like when it doesn't happen, you're like, man, or Target Lady. It's like shit.
From the Target.
Hooray!
Well, I was thinking of isn't it Denise is the name that she says when she's
It's
the
Judy or something like,
Ju- oh,
I'm
Judy.
Judy
yeah,
or
with
whatever.
the little doll
The
hands.
doll hands is what he was
Yeah.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, Doll Hands. Lawrence Welk show.
Yes.
Yeah.
My great grandparents used to watch that.
Tanka Tanka. I never watched that show.
Well, I didn't purposely watch it. I was there, so I had.
That's a
You
good
didn't have a
time.
choice.
We should. We
I
should.
had a choice, but I just watched it because back then there wasn't options. You couldn't go to
Yeah.
another room. There was one TV. You're at your great grandparents' house, and that was it. Like you could play with toys, but that's on.
Like 3
That'd be
channels.
That would be a
Yeah.
good topic of like TV shows we were forced to watch by our parents.
yeah, like Days of Our Lives,
Star Trek.
Oh,
Dude, I love Days of Our Lives.
you love it?
like
I
Sands
did
Through the
growing
Hourglass.
Did your grandma watch it?
This is your
No.
hell.
I watched
You
it.
watched it.
Yeah, and I taped it every day because it came on at 2, and then I get home from school and I'd watch it on my VCR.
Old ladies call them. I gotta watch my stories.
My stories.
You know what I'm talking about?
I think it's still, which is odd. It's still like going on, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like streaming only, which is weird because
Oh, a bunch
They're-
of them did get canceled.
like their main like people who watch them are people who don't have streaming. But I think like Days of Our Lives is streaming only. I heard.
They're missing their demographic, aren't they?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
missing. So
Is that
many people.
Victor guy still like the bad guy? Remember
No,
Victor?
I think he died years ago, like in real life.
No,
I think so.
I don't think
His
so.
name's
dude.
not Victor, is it?
No, it was start with an S.
Not Sanatos.
Yeah, I can't.
Swami.
I can't believe that she's got to be alive.
What is his name? What's
I
the
mean,
bad
after
guy?
he like buried what's her name alive, like that was a
He
whole
did so
thing.
many things. Not Antonio.
No, it starts with an S, doesn't it?
I think it has A's and S's in it
Yeah.
because he was an
Stefano.
ass.
It's
Stefano. There we
Stefano.
go.
My grandma always watched
I
the
thought he died.
ABC soaps. So like the General Hospital, All My Children.
The generic ones, basically.
Well, see, I thought General. I
I'm just
thought
joking.
I
I mean,
thought General Hospital was really good.
Yeah, they were all really popular.
Yeah,
I loved soap operas growing up.
I watched them with my grandma. I thought it was great. Yeah, I mean, I'd go there after school, and that's what we would do: watch soaps together.
I got invested in stories not by choice, but then it'd be like, well, I wonder what happened to them.
Yeah,
And
like
if
is
I had-
Marlena still underground? Like,
Yeah,
have
like-
they found her yet?
Yeah, if I had to watch it, I'd be like, well, I wonder what happened to them. Like
Yes.
in my little kid brain.
And then like Marlena was possessed for a while.
yeah,
Like it was
just
a
the
whole
crazy stuff that would happen on
Yeah.
soaps.
Well, and their timelines were always so stretched out.
Yeah.
So you could miss like a whole weeks of shows, and then basically get picked right back up where
Yeah,
you
because
left
only a week
off.
had
Definitely
passed.
Yeah, 'cause
In
it
their
was-
time.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like you didn't really miss much once you jumped back in.
I was wrong on the TV show. It was. It wasn't Days of Our Lives. It was Young and the Restless.
Yeah, that's one
Oh,
too.
That's
that
the
was
one.
like the risque one where at the very end it like had the little symbol and then like her shoulder with like part of her boob showing.
That kind of like brings back like I don't know if I'm false remembering it, which I don't know if you ever had that where you like I think I remember that, but I'm not sure.
It was like the Y with the R.
I
was the
remember that.
symbol.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I imagine if
This is the guy. He was all over the magazines.
Oh yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about?
I don't know
His
him.
name is Victor. He's like always the bad guy.
the
in this
little
show.
magazines at the grocery
Yes,
store,
like
it'd be
Soap
the
Opera
Oh,
Weekly.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he was the bad guy in that show, huh?
And he's still alive.
He
Is-
is.
That
Okay.
guy is still alive.
I
Stefano.
was talking about Stefano. Sorry.
I missed out. I was wrong. My bad. I'll try to get better.
Which
at my
we
soaps.
are way off track as usual.
That's how it goes.
I don't know how we got here, to be honest.
Oh, we were talking about-
from Kristen
Oh,
Wiig.
our celebrities that we
like,
wanted to be.
Who Jesse wanted to be. It was
Yeah.
like Kristen Wiig, and somehow we're talking about Stefano and the Young and the Restless. What about you, Kate?
Do they have to be the same sex? As you
No.
are?
No, this is
Okay.
2024.
So
How dare
I'm
you
gonna
assume the
be-
gender of your celebrity you want to be?
Oh man, probably Tom Petty
Tom Petty.
because I just want to be.
But he's
I
not
did-
alive.
I didn't expect, like, because I
and make
had thought about.
music and just like do whatever I want and just be a free spirit and say whatever I want. Yeah, or if I have to pick somebody alive,
Yeah,
I'll go
let's-
with James Taylor.
Okay.
I'll be James Taylor
All right. Which
before the
he's-
skiing accident because he like broke it. Like,
He's coming to
shattered his legs.
Riverport. Did you guys see that?
No.
He is?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I think I did see that.
But I was
Kate's
gonna,
like,
I was
"What?"
going to,
No, I've already seen him live.
I was
seen
going
him.
to pick like a celebrity, but I was like, I probably like shouldn't pick the dead one because if I'm him, I'm just under the ground.
No,
No,
but
it's okay.
So yeah.
This
Tom,
is our-
Tom Petty's fine.
I'm
like
picking Tom
this
Petty
is
before
fantasy.
he dies.
This
you
is
know?
fantasy. You know, like it doesn't matter if they're dead or alive.
Yeah.
Like, we shouldn't be particular here.
Like I just want to be able to be that chill person that just like spreads love and positivity and doesn't care what anybody thinks about them. So yeah, Tom Petty.
And
Alive Tom Petty.
Alive, and then James Taylor.
James Taylor
Alive.
because he's alive right now.
All right. And Jesse, did you have a dead celebrity that you'd want to be? Since
Good question.
not the
That's
dead
tough.
part, but
Yeah, I don't.
Carpenter.
Yeah, I was
Karen
thinking.
Carpenter,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah, but see, okay, but she suffered a lot too because of her bulimia.
You don't think Tom Petty suffered?
He suffered.
Yeah,
For
that's
sure.
true.
Had a
That's
bad hip.
true.
He did a lot of coke too.
I guess just to have a moment of her talent.
Moment of her talent, yeah. Just
Yeah.
experience that.
Yeah, just to
Well, she
have
probably
it.
spread love too, man.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
I'm
Sure.
sure. I'm
Enjoyment,
sure.
you know.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what
So
performance all
Karen,
about,
yeah.
usually.
Karen Carpenter, that would be cool.
I was gonna pick Jimi Hendrix,
Oh,
Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
yes.
and that goes along with Kate's like spreading love
be.
and
Yeah,
joy,
you can just like shred together.
and you could just shred
Yeah.
and just like
And
I
you
don't
know that you-
feel the world and
You
Yeah.
participated in
But he had also suffered too. I mean,
He
you
did.
know,
He did.
I feel like all artists like suffer though.
yeah. And they
The
have
good
that thing
ones.
with like comedians behind every clown. There's a trail of tears, like as far as like Robin. That's somebody would be cool
Robin
to be
Williams.
too. Be
Yeah.
Robin
oh
Williams,
my
man.
gosh, yes.
He spread so much love when
Yes.
when he killed himself. I was like, what?
Oh, I was
like
devastated.
it kind of ruined me a little bit because I was
Yeah.
like, dude, if he can't make it, how am I gonna make it? You know, because
Yeah.
he's like, you didn't
Robin
know
Williams.
you didn't know he was suffering. You know,
Yeah.
like he had drug problems that people knew about before, but you didn't know he was suffering like that.
What
And
depression?
He had that Lewy body dementia, which didn't even know that existed before him.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as alive celebrities, I really couldn't think of one. You know, like so. I'm with Kate there. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the dead guy. But if I had to pick so I gotta pick an alive one, right?
Think of the
I
music
can't just
that
I can't
we
just
would
make you do something and I'm like, I'm good, man.
Oh yeah.
I'm good. Let me think here. A live celebrity. Man, maybe I guess Post Malone would be fun to be.
Posty
like
would be
I'm
cool.
not even a
Would be
big
cool.
fan of him,
Yeah.
but it seems like it'd be fun to be him.
Live on that
He's-
big old ranch.
Like I'm not even
He's
a,
got a huge
big
ranch.
fan. I don't want to be Kanye. All right.
Hey, well, and, Posty's also like about our age, maybe a little younger than us. So it's
Yeah.
not like you got to be somebody who's older and maybe doesn't have.
Yeah, and he seems to like all kinds of different music too, and that's something I'm into. you
Yeah,
know,
he's
and
dipping
very
in the country
accepting of
stuff
people, like,
recently.
spreading. What about you, Joel?
I have two celebrities that I would like to be.
Is one dead?
I got to think of a dead one.
Let me go kill one of them real quick.
Oh my God! Please don't.
Oh,
You know what would be really freaky?
Joe,
What?
If one of them you picked dies tomorrow.
Please don't.
I know, but
maybe
I'm just
you
saying.
shouldn't mention
let's-
either
Hey,
one.
this is part of my brain that's like the worst thing that could happen.
Before I
like,
tell you,
Joel and I kind of did that.
we
before.
killed a celebrity one time.
Yeah.
really,
Yeah, yeah, we did.
because you're the main characters.
No,
We
well,
jinxed him.
No, so listen. So before Jesse and I lived together, we were dating, and we would, when we weren't at each other's houses, we would talk to each other on the phone for hours. Like that's how we just hung out, and we liked to goof off. So there was a night where I don't know how we got on the conversation of it, but Billy Mays, you know, the infomercial guy.
Oh, I've heard this.
We were
dead.
like, we were making fun of Billy Mays and like call now and like OxyClean and all this other stuff.
Oh, yeah, he
and
is
then
dead.
literally the next day I read that he had died, like he had like a brain aneurysm
He's
or
like the
something
sham
On the
wow guy.
airplane.
on an airplane,
Yeah.
and he died. And it was freaky because we were talking that night, and the next morning he was
Yeah.
dead.
It was so significant. Joel called me at work that day
And I said,
and was like,
I said we killed
"You're
Billy
not going to
Mays.
believe it. We killed Billy Mays."
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
we got him. Okay.
And we're like, "No way."
It was really, really weird.
For
Yeah.
some reason, when you said Billy Mays, I was thinking of the Tybo guy.
Oh,
That's Billy
Yeah, I guess
Billy
his name
Banks,
Billy. Is
right?
his
Is it
name
Billy
too?
Banks?
Billy
Okay,
Banks, I
so that's
think.
why I got it mixed up.
Tybo.
I
No, we
remember
didn't
that.
kill him. I
Nah,
think
they're
he's
talking
still
about
alive.
the Sham Wow guy. Sham Wow guy.
Yeah,
No,
shit.
that's Vince.
Oh,
The
you
Vince
know
is
way
the
too much
ShamWow
about
guy.
infomercials.
Dude,
How do you not know all the people?
I know a lot about infomercials too because like I grew up with like 3 channels.
Same.
Me too.
No cable, so
Yeah.
like
Daytime TV.
at daytime TV, like all the other stuff. Sometimes the channel 13 is where it was at. You know, that was the more,
Yeah,
especially
I remember
the
that.
fucking knife guys.
Ronco.
Knife.
You remember?
You remember the knife guys, Joel?
Yeah.
Like,
You
what
remember-
you want? This is the only set. Call right now, $13.99.
Do you remember Ronco?
Yeah,
the
Ron-
dehydrator.
Set it and
Ronco
forget it,
was
Set it
baby.
and forget it.
Ronco was like the first ninja.
It
be
was.
honest.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah, it was Ninja, but it might be owned by the same company. They just rebranded.
You said it and,
And
forget it.
forget it.
Everybody would yell it. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
This is so good though.
So who's
all right,
your
so my
celebrity?
celebrities, my
Yeah,
celebrities.
it's not Billy Mays. So
It's not Billy Mays, and it wouldn't be him. That's not my dead one either. So my 2 alive celebrities, one is Pedro Pascal. I think is
Oh, that's a good
Yeah,
one.
he's
phenomenal
cool.
Yeah.
actor. He seems genuine, and I saw him get some sort of award. I don't know if it was an Emmy or if it was it wasn't an Oscar, but like he's really big in TV because he was in The Last of Us.
yeah.
He was the Mandalorian. He's in Narcos, and he's in a few movies too. But like, it just seems like a really nice guy, and I would want to be somebody who's like that. I wouldn't want to be an asshole.
I thought about that too when I was thinking about my people.
Yeah, I don't want to like, he's got enough money. Like I'm sure he's got a private jet and I could go do stuff and just hang out. I would hang out with people of my fandoms. And that would be like amazing to me. This is the way, But then my other celebrity that's alive is Dave Grohl because he's a legend. He's a living music legend, part of a huge current band, one of the biggest alternate rock bands of all time, and was also part of Nirvana. And also people, again, call him like one of the nice guys in Hollywood. Like,
I've read both of his books. He's amazing.
yeah. So, and I think those were my 2 alive celebrities. Now, my dead celebrity, Mr. Rogers. I would have liked to have been
That's a
in the
good one.
shoes of a guy who really just poured his heart and soul into trying to be a positive influence on children. And from all accounts I've ever heard, like, he was literally nothing but a good guy, and almost to a fault. Like, I watched the Mr. Rogers movie. I watched different interviews with documentaries about him, and there are some things that are a little weird about him.
Well, what about
Yeah, we're all weird.
his kill count as a sniper?
I don't
Did
think
you ever?
that,
That's
I did.
fake.
I
It's
heard
fake.
all. I
Fake
heard all of
news.
those. Like the reason he wore sweaters was because he had like sleeve
Yeah,
tattoos and
yeah,
stuff.
that
But
wasn't
like that was so crazy that it was like almost believable.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just like,
Pre-internet stuff,
researched,
yeah.
and it's fake. But it was just like, whoa, dude, Mr. Rogers was a badass, which he was a badass in his own right. But
He was, but you got to think about like all these celebrities. At least for me, I would love to like personally. I'd like to leave a legacy somehow outside of my family. It would be really cool to know that I had an positive impact on my community or a group of people that helped them live better lives or maybe even saved their life. Like that seems like it'd be worth it, So those are my peeps.
I like all our dead ones better than the alive ones.
the dead ones are always better,
Yeah. So now that we've talked about all of our, people that we would be, think about the content that could be created from that group of people. Like how amazing that would
Oh
be.
yeah.
Nowadays?
Well, now you could do it with AI. Like I've
Yeah.
seen, there was a stand-up comedy routine from George Carlin that was all AI.
Yeah.
And the style of George Carlin, and it even had like his like nuances and everything like that. And the AI made it as clever as Carlin would have did it himself. It was so creepy.
Yeah. But I was thinking if we
Weird.
put all of the people together, like they created something together, like how amazing that would be.
Be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the We Are the World. Did you watch that on
yeah.
Netflix?
Uh-uh.
Do you know what that? You know what we're talking about?
I've just seen the actual music video. I didn't know if there was a Netflix thing on it.
There's a documentary that they put together on it. It's called The Greatest Evening in Pop or something like that. And we watched it not too long ago. And worth a watch if you really like.
Well, Lionel Richie is amazing.
He is also a super nice guy. And they talk about all the celebrities. I mean, you got to think about like in 1986 or 7 or whenever it was that they put that all together, the star power in that room was astronomical.
Yeah, it was
like
crazy.
it was so big.
Might be $1 trillion in record sales in that room.
Oh, yeah.
no
You know what I'm
doubt.
saying?
At least by today. At
By
least.
today's monetary standards.
Yeah. I mean, imagine today if you had Post Malone, Lady Gaga, Taylor Swift, Bruno Mars,
Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl,
James Taylor.
James, sure.
Oh, come on.
He might have been.
You know what?
He might have been in the
No,
original.
I'll tell you what. They did have an eclectic. They had people who were
Yeah, it was
really popular.
everybody.
You're right. They did have a lot.
yeah,
so
that's
James Taylor,
That's
absolutely.
the point of We Are the World, Joel.
Absolutely. But like you think about that and you'd be like, wow, that would be really cool today. Like in the 80s, that was the only like big name they mentioned that wasn't there. They tried to get him there was Prince. Prince did not go. They
Really?
got Sheila E. there, and Sheila E. and Prince had like a thing, and they were like, there's kind of
Oh,
allude-
Sheila. I guess that's who that's about.
Probably. They allude that like Sheila E. kind of says, like they interview her and they say like she thinks that they only invited her
To get Prince
to get
there.
Prince to
Yeah.
go,
I got you.
but she still performed. And also, did you know Dan Aykroyd sang We Are the World?
I did not know.
He
that.
doesn't have like a solo part, but
And Sheila E. didn't either. She was
But
in the
Dan
group.
Aykroyd
there were
was
a lot
part of
who
the
didn't have a solo part,
Yeah.
really.
Blues Brothers. I mean, it's not like he was not musical.
I looked it up because I was like, why he's not known for like
Blues Brothers.
Singing.
I know, but that's not
But-
really like the same thing. Like everybody else there was there because
Maybe to you, buddy.
their primary, like Dan Aykroyd to me he's a comedic actor. He's not, and yeah, sure, he was in the Blues Brothers. I'm not going to totally discount that, but everybody else there was famous because of their music, not because of their comedic works. But I found out that he just happened to be in the right place at the right time,
Yeah.
and he just was asked, "You want to?"
He was probably at the award show that they were at earlier that
They
night.
did. Maybe that might have been what
I
it was.
thought you said he was at like a business meeting thing.
It was something, and it just gave him an opportunity. He's like, "Sure, would I like to be in this room with 100 celebrities that
Heck
are
yeah.
that maybe like I may never ever be with again?" Like, Billy Joel was there. Lionel Richie.
What about Billy Idol? Talking
Billy Idol was not.
Really?
I don't think.
Bob Dylan was there.
Bob
Yeah,
Dylan.
Bob Dylan was there.
I'm not a big Billy Idol fan. You
Bruce
just said Billy,
Springsteen.
so
Yeah.
Springsteen was there.
Springsteen had a part. I don't know. We could just go through the list, but if you get a chance, I know you don't have Netflix anymore, but if you want to come over and watch it, like we can watch it. And then if you haven't seen it or if Paulie hasn't
I've
seen
watched it.
oh, you liked it then?
Yeah, I watched it like the day after it was released.
My bad. I didn't see that you said. That
Yeah.
No,
you'd seen it.
I really liked the song as a kid. So as soon as I saw that there was a documentary on it, I was like, are they gonna be like interviewing Lionel Richie and stuff? And then as soon as I started it, I was like, yes.
Yeah, and Quincy
I am
Jones
gonna
produced
watch
the whole
this.
thing, like the song.
Yep.
Quincy Jones is a genius.
Oh, his discography, like as far as everything he's been a part of, is just crazy. I don't even know all of it, but
I know one of them's
like
Thriller.
I always find out like, oh, Quincy Jones produced this, and you would have never thought he did. It's like even different styles of music.
Yeah, I know he helped produce Thriller, and I want to say he did some stuff with Parliament too, didn't he?
He might have did. Actually, I think he did do things with Parliament, and he may have produced the first Red Hot Chili Peppers record that was popular.
Dang.
Really?
Because I know George Clinton at least had something to do with the Red Hot Chili Peppers' first like mainstream album that like really caught on with people, but I'm not sure if Quincy Jones had a part of that. You'd have to look that up.
Oh, I'm going to have to look that up, see like what kind of big things he did, but he's like 91 is what it says.
Yeah, I can't believe he's still alive.
91 years
And-
old.
Crazy.
Speaking of old people who are still alive, and he was probably part of We Are the World. Willie Nelson was probably part of it, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
yeah.
And he's still alive, still touring. He's coming to Riverport too, or well, Hollywood Casino Amphitheater.
It'll
gonna see him.
always be Riverport.
And it's gonna be, yeah, it'll always be Riverport to me, even though I had never been till last year. But like him and Bob Dylan and John Mellencamp all together. Mm-hmm. In that
Ooh,
show,
that
John
sounds
Cougar
good.
Mellencamp.
Yeah.
yeah. Which I'm not a big Mellencamp fan, but you know I'll watch it. And,
He's got
you
some
know,
good ones.
Sucking on chili dogs outside
I
the
think-
Taste of Trees. Weirdest lyrics I've ever heard.
They keep talking about that concert on the Point.
The one that's coming up. Okay.
The one he's talking about? On the Point? They're
Really?
talking about
The Point's for old people
Bob
now.
Dylan?
I don't know if you've realized, but
yeah, but
you're-
they don't play Bob Dylan
Like-
or Willie Nelson
no, but
songs.
they talk about concerts and stuff. And
Oh, the
they have-
concert calendar.
Well,
Yeah,
Only
because
pe-
they do like ticket like giveaways,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
and we're probably the last age of people who actually listen to the radio.
True. Very true.
Wow. That's profound. I never thought about that. Like kids are like, what's this music coming through the car?
Well, they probably
How do
never-
I play what I want to play? No, you don't. You let them pick the songs.
Well, it's like Every was super disappointed when his Sirius XM went out, and now he has to listen to regular radio. Like
Even
he was
Sirius
like,
is
so
becoming-
upset about it.
Sirius is pretty good though.
Sometimes on Spotify, I'll use the AI DJ that they got now just because I don't want control over picking the music. Sometimes I just want to hear something random.
But it usually knows like the music you like.
Yeah, and then like it'll play something I've listened too much. Like you've been listening to this a lot lately, and I'll skip every one of them until it'll get to something. All right, I haven't heard this yet.
You like keeping more variety in there.
Yeah, I like finding new music.
me too.
Like, what's a song that you guys have like heard lately that you've been playing on repeat?
I mean,
Anybody
I
got-
really like the Red Clay Strays right now.
I've heard about them. They're going to be
Oh,
playing
man.
like in Illinois.
I don't
think,
even know what that
June
is.
something.
They are,
down
but
at,
it's
like,
already sold out.
Oh, it is.
I looked it up.
Really?
It's sold out. I was so
I've been
sad.
listening to
have
Rainbow
not.
Kitten Surprise a lot.
Rainbow Kitten Surprise. I have never heard of that.
I've
I've
band.
heard of that, but I don't know what
Check
that is.
them
All right.
out.
Yeah, I've never listened to the Red Clay Strays, but I've heard people. I've heard people talk about them lately. Never heard what is it? Rainbow Kitten Surprise.
Oh
Never
man,
even heard of them.
You are
either.
missing out.
What kind of music is it?
The kind of music I like. I don't know. It's kind of random and
Is it like rock or
fantastic.
like is it
It's
guitars or it's more electronic like, like
it's
keyboards?
It's kind of a mix between like rock, alternative rock, and then folk.
Okay, I might like it.
I bet
then.
I would like
Yeah, I
them.
might like it.
I'm telling you guys, they're amazing. I also like the 1971 too.
That's a band.
Yes.
Okay, the 1971.
Yeah.
And that Red
I
Clay
mean,
Strays.
1979.
No, maybe. I don't
The
know.
band is, yeah. There's a band called the 1979.
I don't know. It just comes on my Alexa and then I.
That's who it
listen
is.
to
Well,
it,
one's
so-
kind of like a half nine.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not fully developed yet.
It's in puberty.
That Red Clay Strays, I've seen people even talk about like they're comparing like the lead singer to Elvis or some shit like that. Have you seen anything on that? Does he remind you? Of Elvis?
Ish.
Really?
Does he have a soulful voice?
He does.
Well
and
then.
it's,
I didn't know. Like I haven't.
You would
I-
probably like him too if you like a little bit of folk because
love
it
folk
is.
music.
It has a very folk feel to it.
Okay.
I'll
I'll have to check it out.
I've listened to their whole album just to
Gotcha.
spam it and see what else I liked because Wondering Why is like the #1 song that's out for them right now,
Okay.
which is a great song, but they have a lot of other good stuff on that album too. So,
check them out.
yeah, I'm really into folk music or mellow.
It
you
seems
know,
like folk,
type music.
like well, I guess folk music had a resurgence not too long ago.
Yeah.
Like what was that one band, Joel?
Well, they call it. You're talking about like it's kind of like indie pop. So
Yeah.
I think maybe what you're referring to is Mumford and Sons.
I was
Maybe.
Yeah,
gonna say
Mumford and
Mumford and
Sons. That's
Sons.
it. I never
Uh-huh.
really listened to them, but that was like, what was that? 5-6 years ago that was very popular.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Or
probably a little bit
longer.
longer
It was
than that.
it was probably closer to 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we're 30
Yeah,
six,
dude,
5, 6,
year-
7, 8,
doesn't
40,
matter.
whatever.
5,
like,
10. What's the
that
difference?
5 years ago to us is like 10, actually.
Yeah, it all lumps
I love
together at
Mumford
one
and
point.
Sons, though.
But yeah, that it seems like it's making a resurgence again as far as like folk music.
Yeah.
What about you, Joel? Any new songs you have on repeat?
A newer song that I have on repeat that I play a lot is a 21 Pilots song called Overcompensate, and it's one of their new big hits. And I saw
They got new hits, so they're still popular.
They are. They must have just released a new album, or it's newer, and they had tickets on sale the other day. They're not going to the amphitheater though, so I was like, but I can't go because it's on a day that I wouldn't be able to see them. Like I'm on a work trip that day, and when I come back, it would be.
Are they like at Pops or something?
No, they're playing at the Dome.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Which is surprising. Like it is, but it isn't. Like they are still very popular, so I can see why they'd maybe do the Dome. It's in October. That could also be part of it. It might be too cold to do at the amphitheater. And I saw Heart is also at the amphitheater.
Yeah, I'm
But-
not a Heart fan.
You don't like Heart?
Heart is now. I haven't.
Not
Was
really.
that newly added?
That's not at the amphitheater. Did I say that?
You did say amphitheater.
I meant because
Dome?
I was talking about
Heart's
21
at the
Pilots.
Dome.
They're going to be at the Dome.
That surprises me.
We saw Heart at the amphitheater.
We did, and
I really liked Barracuda as a kid.
it's still really good. I don't know which one. One of them's Nancy, and one of them's. Anyways, the one who can still sing so
Really
good. Yes.
I really liked like women rock and roll singers, like not just like ones who can really get tough and rock.
Yeah.
And that's what I always liked about Heart.
I want to know why Kate doesn't like Heart.
It's just, when you hear something so many times, you just don't care to hear it again.
Oh, it's been overplayed.
It has been way overplayed in my house. Well, as a kid, it was just all the time. And like I feel the same way about like Bon Jovi.
Oh.
My dad would just listen and listen and listen, and then Heart he would listen to, and there were a couple of other ones too that like as an adult, if it comes on, I switch it. Now, if we're out somewhere and it's playing, I'm okay with it, and I know every word, and it's a good time, but I don't choose to listen to it because it's too much.
I liked Bon Jovi as a kid, but I don't like him now, I would say. And especially I like that song that was in the movie Young Guns. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie.
Oh, is it the Wanted Dead or Alive?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I just liked that I was like, yeah, Billy the Kid.
It's a cool song. Like it's kind of got like a badass like I'm wanted dead or alive.
Yeah, and I liked Billy the Kid and cowboy stuff, and I was like, yeah, I'm cool.
Did you have a cowboy hat as a kid?
I don't think I probably did. I did have a cowboy hat, but that was not the most significant part of my cowboy accessories.
Did you have?
It was the
Did you have
snakeskin
spurs?
boots.
Caps or
I've
anything?
seen the picture.
Yeah, you've seen it.
They are awesome.
And you've seen that pose I had in that Easter. Like why was I like I had the bucket, but like at the bottom of my feet for some reason with my hands to the side, and I kind of remember taking the picture and thinking I was doing a cool pose. Like I felt cool.
Right on.
You were cool. I've seen that pic, dude. Sometime you got to check out Branson's scrapbook that his mom put together. It's sweet, and it's. I love seeing old pictures because it's like going in a time machine.
Yeah.
And I didn't know Branson before I was an adult, so like, I don't know what it was like what Branson was like back then. But you look basically now. You have a beard now. That's about it. You look the same.
There's some picture you've probably seen the one that I look like Chucky in. I'm like sitting on a
Chucky?
stool, and I have it's almost like I have a helmet as a haircut, but my hair is red then at that point.
It's red.
Yeah, for some reason when I was born, I had blonde hair, and then it turned red for a couple years after that, and then it became what's kind of this. It was like darker when I was younger. Now it's becoming more lightish brown, like
Yeah.
and like there's some it's getting white now too. But my hair has changed colors over the years.
Mine has too.
That's weird.
What is your natural hair color, Kate?
I was born with like an orangish hair color, and then it got more orange, and then it got kind of brown, and then it got kind of blonde, and then now it's like super dark.
So the like your hair color now is close to because you still color it, right?
Yeah, because I have stupid
Glitter.
gray hair.
Yeah.
Just
You
like
like
my
my gray
freaking
hair.
ears.
You have
It's
3
ridiculous.
kids, so
Same.
it's going to
Same,
happen.
Kids or no kids, I'd probably still be gray. I'm 40 years old.
Yeah.
I'm an old lady.
So are you like I know your family has a lot of redheads.
Yes.
Like, are
we
you guys
do.
Irish? Like, stereotypically the red hair.
So I took a DNA test, and I am not that much Irish. Let's put it that way.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, European mutt.
What is
But-
Hooli's origin?
Well, if you trace it back, we're Polish, and it was spelled differently.
Really?
Yeah. But in my genetic makeup, I have like less than 1% Polish in my DNA. So,
Really?
yeah.
So your family's like basically been conquered a bunch of times, so everything's mixed
So
in.
many times. And even when we came over to live in the United States, like we completely changed the spelling of our last name because
That was
it's-
pretty typical, actually.
Yeah.
Like, I have family that's supposed to be Polish, and I took a DNA test. I'm way less Polish than I'm supposed to be, like according to my family.
Yeah, same.
But the name is like sort of Polish, but if you like Google it, it's not Polish. Like, it's like Rokita, but there aren't very many Polish names that just end like that. So my dad, which is not on that side of the family, always gave me shit and was like, "Yeah, your guys' name used to be Rokita-owski." Because like Owski is like the typical
Yeah.
like
Anything
Polish
that ends in,
Polish
anything that ends in
ending.
ski.
So
yeah.
but I did like end up Googling like the last name, and there's like it doesn't really correlate with a lot of like Polish names per se.
Yeah, it's the same way with Hooli. Like Hooli is spelled Houchlei.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more of a Polish spelling than
See,
Rokita
and
is.
I wouldn't even
but-
thought Hooli would have been Polish. Like I thought
Yeah.
Hooli, like hooligan, Irish, you know.
Yep. No,
So I would have
no.
not thought Polish.
But it
Now,
looks like
my
Hochli.
mother's side of the family, they're Matthews, so they have always claimed to be like super, super Irish, and
Really?
I don't have a lot of Irish in me. So
Huh.
maybe my mom does or whatever, but it didn't get passed down to me. So
Yeah, I'm a European mutt too. Like, there's
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff in there. There's like Scandinavian. I got like Lithuanian in there. Russian somehow, which I guess Russia came over and attacked the Polish part at one point, and I don't know if it was consensual or not, but I ended up Russian. You know.
yeah.
And then there's like English, Irish, Welsh, and then 1% Spain. And then my grandma, when she got her DNA test, like it showed like 1% Native American, and then it never made it to me, obviously. But just mutt, total mutt.
Yep, same.
It's probably why my hair changes colors throughout life.
Exactly. Now, a lot of my redheaded relatives that you were speaking of, their hair is still red, like, which is
Yeah.
crazy to me. Like, theirs stayed, but nope, not mine.
Yeah,
Mine
and
changed.
total red.
Yes, like orangish,
Yeah.
crazy red. But I think the only one that kind of changed more brown, like me, is Josh.
Josh.
Like his hair is more
Yeah.
brown. But yeah, Jake and Jenny and everybody else, they all have super red hair.
Jesi, what was your maiden name before you got married?
Holbrook.
Holbrook.
Yeah.
That's got to be English, right?
But it was an adopted name, actually.
Adopted name, so
Yeah.
you don't even know unless you took a
Well, it
DNA
was
test.
Beavers was.
Beavers? What's beavers? Like, that's probably like somebody who like used to hunt beavers, right? Or a pelter?
Probably. I don't even know. But my DNA, actually, I'm less of a mutt than I thought I was.
Really?
Because I'm almost like exactly half Scottish and half English. Or like UK, Western
Nice.
European.
A purebred, damn near.
Ish?
Those
Yeah.
don't exist in like the purest
Yeah.
you can get here in America.
I mean, I've
I'd
got
imagine.
like a few percent of Irish in there too, but it's literally like 47% Scottish and then like 42% English and then like, onesie twosies of like Irish and German and stuff like that. So, yeah, it was a surprising result for me.
Yeah, I was surprised to see Spain on mine. I was like, what? Like,
Yeah.
why and how?
Yeah. I was pretty sure it was going to say 100% that bitch is my DNA test.
Yeah.
So I have 3% from the Congo.
The Congo, really?
Yeah. So like that was like my big surprise is because like a lot of people
Yeah.
will have like Northern African, but it's usually like Egyptian or something like that.
That's what mine started as. The weird thing is, like, started as like Northern African Iberian is
Yeah.
in my Spain. They turned to Spain, but like
Yeah,
it
and
was like
then-
Northern Africa at first.
But mine was like, I was like, oh, this is interesting because it showed the little like color in Africa. And I was like, where's that? So then I like made it bigger and look at it and everything. And I was like, oh, crap. Like, Congo back in the day was not the place you wanted to be. And I
Yeah.
still don't really think that it is. So at some point,
Wasn't it owned by like France?
maybe, I don't know.
There were a lot of territories in Africa that were like I
Owned
guess
by France.
part of France. So
So maybe one of your relatives went down there,
got busy.
got busy with
Yeah,
a
had a
lady
baby.
or
Yeah, and brought them back.
lady or a
They
man
had to
and
bring
brought
'em
them back. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
it's
then
weird
then
to
they
me.
migrated over.
Yeah.
But my family, both on the Hooley side and the Matthew side, I have done our ancestral trees as far back as I can go, and I cannot find anyone that would have been associated with the Congo. So I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, this is just a abnormality in my DNA. And then Alexis took hers, and she was 0.02%.
Oh, really?
And I was like, holy crap, it's actually in my DNA. It's not just an abnormality or a mistake, on the
Maybe you got
like
some of that.
tracing.
Some
A re-
illegitimate.
No, I was thinking like the original DNA, like the original
Yeah.
humans were here before the aliens came here and did experiments.
Well, hold on.
Maybe.
Another
Did
thing.
you ever
that-
hear like Joe Rogan and them talk about that?
No.
Like
No.
the aliens came here and like the way we are is like they mixed their DNA with animals that were already here
Oh.
and
like we're a combination of half alien, half
half what was here,
monkeys.
And that's why there's no like missing link per se. And
So another thing to think about is slaves. Could have been a slave who
Could have been.
had
That's true. Yeah.
ancestors that were from the Congo.
yeah,
And I mean, still, just something happened. People got
Yeah.
busy, and
Well,
well, that's
it's
why I was.
probably
That's
rape,
why. Well, that's
really.
why
It probably
well,
was,
That's
yeah.
why I was saying like about the Russian. Maybe they invaded and it was consensual or not consensual. It's
Yeah.
like
Because there were a lot of situations in the U.S. where plantation owners would rape their slaves, and if the child came out fair-skinned enough, it got to live at the
the
big
regular
house.
life. Yeah.
Yeah. So I also thought about that exact scenario, like being in the United States. But most of my family that I have traced in the United States aren't from certain places, right? Where you would think that something
Yeah.
like that would happen. And just the history that's behind it and the stories that I've heard and the things that I've read in papers and things, I don't think my family would have like raped someone or done whatever. I'm thinking that it's before we came over.
Before.
That's
like,
Before
yeah.
you
Could have been.
migrated.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. There's thousands and thousands of years there.
Yep.
So I mean,
So who knows?
do you ever think it's so weird that, like, from human existence, like, since the beginning, like, have you ever thought, like, oh my gosh, like, I'm here,
Yeah.
like, it's just nuts that I'm here in the first place, like, it's went that long.
do you know how many people it
Yeah.
took to make you?
I know
Billions.
that's
Of
a lot of
different
pressure,
people.
man.
It isn't. It isn't.
I told you this mine. It just goes,
But you live your own
I
life
like. Though that's
too.
cool. You gotta like it's
but it's like,
perspective.
yeah, it's like, oh my, well, just like your DNA has been that successful to exist throughout the entirety of space and time.
Mm-hmm.
You've made it this far. I just find that very interesting.
Yeah. What was your DNA test, Joel?
I was pulling it up on my phone because
Oh,
I wanted
Joel.
to make.
The thing with Joel is he's gonna be like he's not just gonna go off the cuff. He's gonna be accurate and
Gotta be
planned.
specific.
It's
Yeah.
be specific.
It's called Organized. Thank you. I did an Ancestry.com one
Yeah, that's the one I did.
several
Me
years
too.
ago, and it came back 72% England and Northwestern Europe, 15% Ireland, Ireland, 4% Germanic Europe, 4% Wales, 4% Scotland, and 1% Norway. So if you take the 72 of England, 15 of Ireland, 4% of Wales, and 4% of Scotland, you're talking like 94% UK.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And then that 1% Norway, those were Vikings coming over and messing you up.
Absolutely. Probably, yeah.
But then the UK ended up winning. Like when it all came down to it,
Yeah.
like they kind of like mixed in a little bit. Like they allowed some Vikings to stay like kings there at certain parts of the UK, and it mixed in. But I would say all in all, when it's all said and done, I think the UK won, those battles.
Yeah.
The battle over the island, basically.
Has anybody been able to trace any of their lineage to royalty?
No, have you or something?
No.
Some lords.
Really?
Yeah. On both sides, and different, like my mom and dad's side, and their maternal, paternal sides, and a lot of Scottish lords.
Really?
No, most of my relatives that I've traced back, like way back in the day, they were all super poor.
Yeah, that mine
people.
seemed like a big list of poor people.
Yeah, that's exactly what mine is. And I've started to do Polly's, and his is turning the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely a bunch of poor people in the U.S., but if you go back to like the
No.
1500s,
Yeah,
1400s,
somebody
Mine were
did something
poor.
to get excommunicated from lordship.
yeah,
In your
going way
lineage.
back,
Yeah,
we're something, but
Get over there
Find
to
out what
America.
that is.
they messed up along the line, and we
Yeah.
weren't after that.
You ever seen those things where you can buy like part of like a piece of land on the
Yeah.
Scottish castle?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You should buy one of those and be like, I'm back.
I'm back, bitches.
Let
Call
me
me
back in,
madam.
please.
I'm back. Lady Jesi's here.
Lady Jesi.
I don't have any lineage
You
that
know?
I'm aware of to anybody famous.
Did you do any like your family tree?
My uncle
your
did
own?
some at one point, and there was I remember him telling me about a particular relative that knew or worked with like Ben Franklin. But
Really?
that's like the best
That's
I've
cool.
got, like I don't know anything else other than that.
Did you see that Michael Douglas is playing Ben Franklin? I don't have Apple Plus TV, but I just seen a commercial for it yesterday.
That's perfect for him though. He can
And I
pull
was
that
like,
off.
whoa, that's gonna be like interesting because Ben Franklin was like a terror. Like, and then you have the one movie with Michael Douglas where he's the lawyer or whatever. What's that? You know what I'm talking about? Or is that Stocks?
No, you're thinking about Wall Street.
Wall Street. There we go. Wall Street.
But that
But it-
yeah.
He's
he,
like,
he plays Gordon Gekko, I think is the name of the character.
so I feel like this Franklin, like it almost has me tempted. Like, well, I wish I could just,
Did you say that Ben Franklin was a terror?
yeah, like a terror as far as partying.
He did like to party.
Yeah, like
And he was promiscuous.
yeah, not like well, he might have been to terror, like doing experiments on people, like.
I
And
don't
they
think
find
he
a
did
bunch of
that.
For
bones in his
science.
basement. Yeah. That's how they used to do. They would just go get some poor dude off the street and dissect
Probably
him.
one of my relatives. Just
Yeah.
saying.
Oh no.
Maybe that's my link to Ben Franklin. One of my poor relatives got dissected in his basement.
Yeah, I mean, they were I guess it's
But
possible.
I do feel like it is a really good casting. I didn't even know Michael Douglas was still acting. So,
He's pretty old.
but
Isn't his dad still alive too? Like Kirk?
I don't know about
He can't
that.
be dead.
I don't have.
He's like
any
Victor
idea.
from that TV show. They never die.
Isn't Michael Douglas married to what's her name?
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah,
I don't
Catherine
think
Zeta-Jones.
I don't think they're married
Yeah,
anymore.
and then there was that whole thing that he got throat cancer
Oh,
from the
no.
talc powder
Kirk
that
Douglas
she
is
would
dead.
put on her lady parts.
Oh,
Oh.
Did you ever see that?
no.
But like talc powder does cause
It
cause
does.
cancer.
does.
Yes.
But he got throat cancer, and he was blaming his throat cancer on that.
Well, he's
And
probably
it was
accurate.
a weird way to just publicly
He
like
must
this
have
is
spent a
why
lot of
I
time
did.
I
You
was
guys
gonna
gotta
say, he must have spent a lot of
I
time
treated my wife
downstairs.
nice, like
I don't know if I'd want to be down there.
yeah.
He is still
Talcum
married
powder,
to Catherine Zeta-Jones. I was
Yeah.
wrong.
like pasty.
He's like almost 80.
But yeah, he had said that. I'm pretty sure.
Wow. Okay. Well,
Don't want to be misquoted on
I mean,
it, but
good
Weird
for her, bad
flex.
for him. But
Yeah, weird flex.
I got throat cancer, but it was for a badass reason. outside smoking, or it wasn't smoking or nothing like that.
He's 79. He's lived a life.
That's younger than I thought he was, to be
Yeah,
honest.
he looks older than that.
But cancer will age you, too,
Yeah,
when you
true.
get it.
Yeah.
Like, speaking of TV shows, you guys got any guilty pleasure TV shows?
I watched Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso?
Love it.
That's
That's
why
a
I
guilty pleasure TV show, though?
I think I don't have a guilty pleasure TV show.
You don't
what-
have a TV show that you're like a little bit ashamed to tell somebody about. That's what it is.
No, I don't.
Like Ted Lasso was an acclaimed show. People will like give you high fives over that.
But it's about soccer,
feel
and I
like-
don't like soccer.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're
So-
admitting to,
Okay.
like, soccer,
To
I guess?
watching, no, I did not admit to liking soccer. I don't know. I don't have guilty pleasure shows. Like I watch whatever show.
Yeah, because
I don't
Kate
care
does
what it
seem
is.
like she's very confident, like, in the things she does. Like, I want to do it because
She owns it.
I want to do it.
Absolutely.
And if I don't
Yeah.
like it, I'm not going to do it.
That is
Do it.
Kate to a T.
Accurate.
That's very true.
Accurate.
Do it.
Just do it. You want to know what mine is?
Yeah.
Maury.
Maury.
Maury Povich.
What's
Oh,
more?
that would be I would be.
I like that
It's
show.
kind of
And-
shameful because that's something like, a middle-aged housewife, that all she does is stay at home, take care of the family
and
all day
the
with
show,
watch.
it's the same thing every
I
day.
used to watch that as a kid, though.
I did too.
It's
After
it's
school.
who's lying and who's the father. That's
Yeah.
always the questions that
Yeah.
are going on.
Oh, is
It's
that
like,
one of those
oh,
like
shit.
DNA test ones?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
paternity test.
So I used to watch it at work when I worked at Ascendant because I would go to break at 3:00, and that's when Maury Povich would come on. And there were times like, apparently 3:00 is a pretty popular time because every 2 hours or something like that, people would go and break. And like I remember there was a time like Jesi was watching, Shane was watching, Jesi was watching, Avery was watching. Like all of us were in there, and we're all waiting to
Invested.
find out who is this dude the father or not. And you'd wait because they'd get through at least one guest within that 15 minutes of our break. And now I can actually, through the use of Facebook Reels,
Just go back and
well, they'll play
Boomer
new.
talk.
They'll listen.
I am
your
older than
TikToks
you,
are-
and I don't
who
watch.
watches Facebook Reels?
Yeah.
Everybody who's gonna watch American TikTok because
My grandma.
TikTok's gonna get taken down. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure that's happening.
Okay, carry on with your Maury Povich now.
I'm just saying. I think that it will.
Yeah,
There's like legislation about it.
but they haven't done anything. Legislation's been going on for a long time now.
I think if anything, it's such like a money powerhouse that they're going to force it to be sold, and that's.
But it's a
also-
Chinese company. They can't
but I
force
think-
it to. But
I think that's ultimately like the goal here. I think the goal
Sure.
is. I think the goal, moreover, like spying and shit like that, is the money.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
it's probably that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you're wrong there.
And
Anyways, I like my Facebook Reels. You snobby snobbers.
did you ever watch Jerry Springer?
Yes. Yes. When I was a kid.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I
the
loved it.
weirdest time to watch stuff like that. I watched it mainly when I was a kid, and I was
As a teenager, for
Because there
me.
was like
I
good.
wasn't allowed to watch stuff like that.
I was captivated.
We were okay. So if you were like me, you could only stay up late on the weekends. Like
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday, my dad didn't care really if I stayed up late as long as I didn't interrupt him sleeping. And like I'm thinking, okay, so if I stayed up late enough, I'd watch Saturday Night Live for a while, and then when that was about done, Jerry Springer would come on.
Oh yeah.
And on Saturdays, I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember what, like, if you stayed up till midnight, like right after Highlander, the Three Stooges would come on?
Oh.
You could watch the Three Stooges.
Loved it.
You watched that too?
Yes.
Did you guys watch that?
Okay, so when I was as young as you're talking, the TV shut off at midnight,
yeah,
What?
and it didn't come back on until like 5 a.m.
yeah,
It was just like static. They like played the national anthem, and then it was over.
yeah, same.
What?
Yeah.
No,
Nothing
no.
was on past midnight?
Hey, no. You might not be that old either, but I remember it going to the old style, which I'm only 38. I remember going it like would have the thing, and then I didn't remember the national anthem.
Yep,
but
like
it would
the
just go
national
to like not a blank screen, but it had like that
The color
picture.
Fuzzy.
bars.
No, I remember
Oh.
seeing like the picture.
Yeah, sometimes
like
it
a-
did that later on in my life, but when I was much younger,
Yeah, it was
it
just
was
like a
just
symbol.
static. It
Just-
was
Yeah, it went off. TV used to just go off.
Yeah, it went off air. Like they did a whole like thing at the end, and then they played the national anthem, and they said
don't ever remember
broadcast
it
will
not going-
continue at 5 a.m.
You're not old
and-
enough.
It was like a beep thing.
There
Like
was a
once they
beep
would do
thing,
the
too.
national anthem thing, there would be like a beep, and they would show the like color lines
Yep.
across.
It must have stopped doing that, like, in your known memory. You know, you're not that much younger than me, but
I mean, I don't remember the earliest. I guess I would remember staying up that late. I'm probably like 8 or 9. So
So what year is that?
so like 95.
Oh yeah, so it probably ended in like 93, 94.
yeah, and that would it's not too far away from
Yeah.
you
No.
know. But I was probably 9 or 8 at that time, so that's why I remember.
Yeah.
So along with late night television, there was also like we talked about infomercials, but do you remember like the CD collections that they
Yeah.
would try to sell you? Buy this 32 CD collection.
I would watch those and love it too, because it's like you're getting to listen to music, and it
It was
only be
only
like
snippets, though.
snippets of it, but it was like kind of cool. Like,
You remember
compared
like
to-
the ones that was like Earth sounds, and it was like Enya, like who can say where the road goes?
or what's his? They had whole ones of what's his name, Yandi or
Yanni?
Yanni. It was
Yanni.
just all his
Just
whole
all
collection.
Yanni.
His whole collection,
Dude.
and it was weirdly sexualized. Like he had his
Have you
shirt
seen that,
open
dude?
and
Oh,
hair
yeah.
on hairy chest, and it's like who are they like
Oh, you know who
advertising
they're
this
going
to?
to.
Probably your mom or your
Yeah.
grandma. You know.
Your mom. But you're not right. You're not wrong. You're absolutely right. It's exactly. And some lady's like, oh, I got
Yanni.
me feeling a certain way about Yanni.
Yanni. Oh, I just never mind.
No. You gotta say it
I
now.
just wondered if some chicks ever rubbed one out to a Yanni infomercial.
Probably back in the day.
Maybe we should edit
probably
that
our
out.
moms, dude. Our moms.
Don't
Put your
talk
hand
about
up.
my mom like
You
that.
talk about my mom.
Put your hand up for the edit.
Maybe what
Oh,
Jesse's
man.
mom probably did.
Probably. I don't know. I don't want to know.
I don't think my grandma did.
I don't. Yeah, I
think
like
she's
grandma wise. I don't think grandmas really did stuff like that.
Yeah, grandmas
Hold
don't.
on,
They
hold-
don't do things like that. Thank you very much.
Listen.
Somebody's grandma had to. Like,
Nope.
just-
Nope.
I don't want to
Listen.
think about it.
Nope.
Listen, you know how
My
many
grandma-
babies?
not my
Pure.
gra-
You know how
my
many
grandma.
babies? A lot of grandmas. A lot of our grandmas, like not necessarily the 4 of us in here, but a lot of grandmas got busy.
My grandma
They
did.
know how to get busy. Yeah, your grandma had like
She had 12 kids.
it was fucking the Duggars before the Duggars were a
Yeah.
family. Okay.
Yeah.
But by different daddies.
No.
No.
Same
Same
daddy.
See,
family.
that's the thing. Like things were different.
But I'm saying, don't pretend that grandma don't know
Oh,
how
I just
to
feel
get
like
down.
it was a
They
little.
were getting
it was.
down,
It was
for sure.
more classy. The getting downness.
Classy getting down.
You think
yeah.
so?
And they
I don't
probably
think
like
so.
prepared. You
I
know?
think they want us to think that. I think they paint this picture of how they were so pure and that they never did anything wrong and they went to church every single Sunday. Not, dude. You
See, my grandparents weren't like that, though.
They,
My,
I feel like they made the bed before they got down. You know.
I
they
agree.
made the bed
Yeah,
before.
prepared. You know, made the bed. You know,
Just rip the sheets off.
got
Like,
it.
why
Like got
even need
into
them?
the old nightgown
yeah. The
that
flannel.
showed nothing.
The flannel nightgown.
The moo
The moo
The moo yeah. You think
like,
so?
Had to push the beds together.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh, like they didn't have like a big bed. They had 2
No,
different
I'm just saying,
beds.
like in TV, they always slept in separate beds.
That's the
They
image that
did.
you have,
Yeah.
though. Yeah.
That is
the
funny.
purity.
Yeah, and like back in those days, they slept in different beds. Which
yeah.
one set of my grandparents did sleep in different beds, but different rooms.
Was one a
Like
snore?
later on in life, but it was because of stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, they'd been married so long. It's just like, come
I
on,
love you,
know?
but you.
yeah, I
yeah.
can't sleep.
Yeah. My
Yep.
grandparents never did that. They always slept in the same
Yeah.
bed together.
And then my other set of
Pretty
grandparents.
sure they were getting busy still before they died.
Really?
So, yeah.
I want to be like that.
Me too.
Yeah, I want to be good. I'm glad we're on the same page.
He's like,
I
oh
want to
yeah.
be. I want to be.
Oh, dude, have you seen like those? They're like not resorts, but like villages, towns down in southern Florida. All these
Oh, the
old people
retirement places?
that are rampant in STDs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
rampant.
they be getting
Yes.
it on all over the place.
Like that's where the most of the STDs in the state happen are in the retirement
For these
communities.
old people.
Yeah.
Well, they're wanting to get
Like
down.
it's just the like statistics like aren't very accurate because where most of it's happening is those retirement communities.
This is a very disturbing.
No, I love it.
conversation.
I love
Hey,
it.
hey, Joel started it with his guilty pleasure TV show, Maury. That's what got us here.
Listen,
We didn't even get to hear Jesse's yet. We're on this old people doing
old
it
people
stuff.
tangent.
Yeah, Jesse, what's yours? Let's change this.
Please. My guilty pleasure, probably Love is Blind on Netflix,
I feel like that's a lot
Or-
of women's.
or like The Ultimatum, which is kind of adjacent to that.
Really,
Yeah.
very similar. I'd say I don't know
Yeah.
what Love Is Blind is, but I see a lot of jokes about it, like on TikTok, about how people are
Yeah.
basically, addicted to the show.
I wouldn't
like
say
it.
I'm addicted to it, but I do like watching it.
Yeah. What's
and-
it about? Fill me in.
So it's a whole bunch of potential matching people, and they can't see each other.
Really? So it's
they
like the
go in
old
these-
dating shows, like
Yeah.
where
Yeah, kind of.
the love connection.
The
like
love
that
connection.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's a good
where you can't
example.
see 'em.
Yeah, but they put them in like pods. So they go on these dates for however long in these pods together, but they can't see the other person. It's just across a wall. So it's like an interesting concept, I think. So the point of it, because it's called Love is Blind, is to like experiment if these two people meeting across a wall and can't see each other can really fall in love and stay together.
Like overcome shallowness.
Uh-huh.
Do they show the people meeting? Like,
Yeah.
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 Has
so once
any of them
they,
gone wrong?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Really?
So
Yeah,
many.
that's part of the
Do you
drama.
ever think? Do you ever think like that bastard or
Yes.
bestet?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of, I think, the people that go on there for the wrong reason,
To be
I see.
famous.
for the celebrity.
I got
Of
you.
it.
So they're not even going to fall in love.
Yeah, you can pretty much
And these people are
pick
getting
those
paid
out
too,
right
so,
out
I
of the
mean, yeah.
gate. You can tell the ones that are genuine and the ones that aren't, like pretty quick.
Like some people are trying to play to the camera and play them like their own character up to.
And the drama, and yeah, they just don't have that like genuine emotion behind it, with a connection with someone. So the premise is they propose
What?
behind the wall before they
What?
even
It's
see
that
each other.
serious? I thought
Yes.
this was like just like okay, we're gonna start dating.
No, they
No.
propose
It's
marriage.
supposed to be singles who are wanting to get married.
Mm-hmm.
So if you meet your person, you're supposed to marry them.
The wheels are turning
Yeah.
up here.
And
I know.
then, and then they meet in person, and then they kind of follow them for 4 weeks after that.
4
I think
weeks. Yep.
where it's like
After they're married.
no,
No, before.
they're engaged, and then at the end is supposed to be the ceremony, and they have to decide yes or no
I got
at the altar. Like they go through the whole wedding preparation and everything.
So they
in
see
like
each
a-
other for 4
almost
weeks.
like
And
a
their families
shotgun.
there?
Do.
Their families are there. It's almost like a
Okay.
shotgun wedding kind of thing. Like
Really?
it's so fast.
They have to live together.
They have to live together for the 3 weeks prior to their.
It sounds like has a mix of 90 Day Fiance in it. My mom watches that show.
It does.
Yeah, a little bit.
What's that other one that you
The
me and you watched?
ultimatum.
That one was interesting.
Yeah,
I like that.
one's where the couples are. They've been together, and one of them can't commit and say, "Yeah, I want to get married," and the other one is ready. So,
it's,
they'll bring like
ultimatum.
I like
couples,
that one a
yeah,
lot.
that kind of would match each other too. Like as far as I don't know.
They're all
Compat-
young, like in their
compatibility. It's all about
Compatibility. Yeah, that's what I was trying
Yeah.
the word I was trying to find. Thank you, Kate.
Yep.
So they bring them all in and they swap partners. So they kind of go on many dates with each other person that's not their person they came with,
Really?
and decide, oh, I would like to pursue a pretend relationship with this person that's not who I came with, and see if they really are committed to who they came with, or if they need to make the decision that they need to move on. And there's been some It's drama, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
there's people that stick together, and then there's people that cheat on each other, and then there's people that end up with somebody else, and it's interesting.
It's
to
a
watch.
train wreck, but it's
It is a train
pretty
wreck.
fun to watch.
I feel like it's very close to just how life is outside of TV. They're
Yeah,
just capturing it
yeah.
because you hear about like living in a small town, like
Yeah,
all
Yeah.
that stuff kind of happens here.
but both shows
Yeah.
are hosted
Not
by
televised.
Nick Lachey and his wife.
Really
Yeah.
interesting. I always wondered what Love Is Blind was about. I see people talking about it, and I won't watch it. I'll feel too guilty, you know.
But it's a guilty pleasure show. You can watch
I don't
it.
feel like it'll be pleasurable.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't like Love Is Blind. I don't think.
I just don't think it's up my alley of things. Like as far as guilty pleasures for me, like it's not really a TV show, but a series, and it's been canceled. But Mindhunter. I don't know
Oh,
if
I
you guys
love
ever heard of that.
Mindhunter.
Jesse likes
Yeah.
But
that.
like genuinely, I can't stand crime shows.
Really?
True crime,
I love
like
it.
true crime. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to watch this because it just reminds me of all the bad stuff that is
That
happening,
could happen.
No, or happening, or what could happen. And it's just like
Yeah.
I want to live, you know, in my own little Pello world.
You already got enough stuff going on. You don't need more ideas.
Yeah, and it's just adding more. Like, oh my gosh, this could happen. But that's why I feel guilty, is because I'm so judgmental of shows like that. And like Mindhunter, I watched it like in 2 weeks,
Oh,
both
it's
seasons.
So good. It's so
And I
good.
was upset when I like Googled. I was like, Mindhunter season 3, and it was like canceled. It's been canceled for years. Didn't know anything about it, and I had just started to watch it. Got like engulfed with it.
That's always heartbreaking.
I thought it was really interesting because they basically break down like how the FBI profiling system was created, and that was very interesting. Maybe that's what kind of warmed me up to it. And they interview like serial killers,
Yep.
criminals, and it was like some of it was just so shocking and creepy. Like actually made your skin crawl a little bit, even though they're just actors. It's not real, you know. It's just based on real things.
Yeah.
And they were building up the BTK killer, which like was getting really creepy, which made it upsetting that they canceled it, because you're like, I want to know what happens, even though you could Google what the hell happens. But yeah, very interesting show. That's my guilty pleasure, just because I'm so judgmental of people and their crime shows.
Yeah. The Love Is Blind one. I don't think I could enjoy it like I do The Ultimatum. Like I sat down one night and was like, "What are you watching?" And she's like, "It's called The Ultimatum." And I'm like, "Okay, fine." And I just sat down. I was like on my phone. And Jesse and I think we're both notorious for this. We know things that the other one would probably enjoy, but we will reject it at first. So like I've talked about certain movies or video games. I'm like, Jesse, I think you'd like this. And you're like, yeah, I don't know. And then later on I find out you're playing them or watch that or whatever. Same thing goes with this. But what I don't like about the Love Is Blind, I understand it's like gimmicky, like you're trying to focus more on the personality of somebody. And that is very important to a relationship. But for me, I still have to be physically attracted to somebody. So even if I really like a female's personality a lot, if I don't find them physically attractive, I wouldn't want to marry them. And so that's where, like, I know that's kind of like the fun part of it, is some people sometimes find when, they meet each other and they are physically attracted and they have an established personality, but I don't know. I don't think it's shallow I know you said something about shallow earlier. You were talking about people who are purely in it just for the looks.
Yeah.
But I think we all have to be attracted physically to our partner a
Well,
little
I think
bit.
there's some sort of psychology or just like things beyond that, like to do with physical attractiveness, as far as like your eyes can see what you might be lacking, like in a mate, like not just like, oh, she looks better than me, but you might be recognizing like, oh, like my body or my DNA might have these bad traits, and you just are naturally attracted to them, like it's in your subconscious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
And I've become, when I was younger, like there are people who I did not think were attractive, and then as I got to know them, became more attracted to them. And also the opposite. I've seen people who are like,
Yeah.
damn, they're hot. And then
I've had
you
that
talk
happen.
to them and their personality is just lacking something. They're either like, for me, like you got to be pretty smart. Like not like genius, but you got to be able to have a good conversation, and like just airheads just, they don't do it for me. I don't.
With
I
my
can't.
experience with that, like as far as what you're talking about, like I've had people like visually, they get less attractive. Like they
Same.
look different to me.
Whenever
Like
you
they
find
just
out
like
more about their
visually
person.
look different. Like it's like, and I've had it happen the opposite way. It's like, well, how does that happen?
Yeah.
But like my perception of them visually changes, which is weird to me. Like how, like
And that's why I think that I could do a Love is Blind type of thing, because
Bye, Joel.
What?
I said bye, Joel.
Yeah, peace. She's trading me in for a younger model.
just mean the concept of it. Like, I think because I do look at personality more than looks oftentimes, like what Joel and you two, Branson, were both saying, people can look uglier if their personality is ugly.
yeah, it's just
And
mind
people
blowing.
can look more attractive if they have a good personality. And so that's why I think if I was attracted to someone's personality first, it wouldn't really matter what they look like, because I would already be attracted to them. Does that make sense?
Unless it's the butler from like Scary Movie. Look at my strong hand.
I read something also that says you can be attracted to people more based on what you believe you're capable of getting. Like people, they say like in your league or something like that. Like
Do you mean
out of
like
your
toned
league?
down? Do you mean like
okay.
if you have a bad like self confidence?
I hate to. I don't mean this in a bad way, but what I'm getting at is people who probably realize that they're maybe less attractive to the general population are more likely to find other less attractive people attractive because they're obtainable
I got you.
as a mate. Does that make sense?
I understand what you're saying.
Like, like we may like look at maybe celebrities who are like super hot and be like, yeah, they're attractive, but are they obtainable? And therefore we may just totally shut them out. But like we'll see people that we know, like in our community or people in our circles or something like that. And that they're probably not on the same like hotness level as a lot of celebrities, but that's okay. You could probably still find them attractive because they're a more obtainable mate. Is that like,
yeah, or more, maybe you see him more attractive than the celebrity.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I don't know. I read that one day and I had no idea like that was a real thing, but then I started thinking about it and I was like, yeah, that does make a lot of sense.
Well, and people are a lot of times attracted to people within their like financial circles as well.
Sure.
Yeah. Credit
So-
scores.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily credit scores, but if you are someone who was raised in a wealthy family, you're most likely going to meet people who are also part of wealthy families
Yes.
and then fall in love and continue that cycle. You're not necessarily going to find someone from a slum and be like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, you're so attractive and I want to marry you.
How the Royals do it,
Yeah.
if you marry outside a certain, they don't allow it in their family,
Yeah.
And that's the social expectation part of it.
Yeah. Oh, I've been on like dating sites before, and like it says in some girls' bios, like must have a credit score of this particular, like, so people do like think about that.
Do you
Yeah.
think that that's too shallow?
I don't care. Like, I don't know if it's shallow or not. Like, I don't think about it. I'm just like, they want what they want,
Yeah.
I don't
I think it's okay to have.
really judge
When I
them
was
for it.
younger, I think my opinion would be different than what it
Yeah.
is now. But if I was someone who was dating, I would want to be with someone who has a good job, has their own things. I don't want to have to provide for anyone.
You want
at
somebody who's
my
got their
age.
shit together.
So, like,
yeah, I get it.
why some people are like, I need this, and that's a requirement.
Yeah.
And you know what? If it's the rest of your life, you don't necessarily want to be taking care of someone who can't take care of themselves. So, I get it.
Yeah, that's
Sometimes
that's
it just
the way I
makes
look at
life
it. Does
easier.
Like that's what that person wants, you know.
I just didn't know if you thought it was. I don't. In my 30s, I don't think that's unreasonable.
Yeah.
But I think I'm with you, Kate. Like,
When I was younger, I'd
You're
probably be like,
younger,
what
who-
the fuck?
who cares about
Yeah.
a fucking credit score? I just want to hook up. Like, but you know, whenever you're 30, you know, 30s, 40s, like
Yeah.
you got kids, you got a mortgage, you've got
Yep.
bills to pay. Like, I ain't about to fucking adopt another, basically a pet human. Like, no way, dude.
Some people
Exactly.
some people like to.
Some people,
some
I'm
people
There's
not
a
about that
lot,
life.
a lot of women or men out there who want to take care. Like it's a
Yes.
weird. I don't know if it has something to do with their childhood, but they feel the need or the lack of therefore something in their life. But they always pick people they have to take care of
Or fix.
or fix, and they don't like it the whole time, but they keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know several people who are in relationships where one person's clearly carrying the weight of the relationship. Everything from the financial side, the emotional side, raising kids, you know, maybe not all of those things, but like they're doing a lot of some of those things. And the other one is just,
There,
Riding
you
it.
know, riding.
the dude.
The
other one's
dude.
the dude.
Yeah,
Well, that's just like your opinion, man.
I don't know. That's just not the way I roll. Like, to each their own.
Yeah.
And we have all our free will, but it does get. What really pisses me off though is whenever somebody who is the one who's doing the weight, they're pulling the weight, and they'll complain, and they'll complain for years and they never do anything. And it's like, I understand at the early stages, like if you're just realizing this person that you're with is not a great partner, then okay, you've got some time there. Like, okay, I got to make a plan to figure out if I'm going to have an escape plan, right? Like, but there are some people who
Some
That's-
people get out of it and going right and directly into the same thing
Yeah.
with a
that's
different
true
person.
too. Yeah,
repeat the
I
cycle.
know.
Like complain
Yeah.
about like I need to get out of this,
what you're
and then
used
just
to.
right
Yeah.
back to like out of the frying pan into the fryer.
And
Yeah.
and other people, there's this term that I learned about a couple years ago. It's called sunken cost fallacy, which means you've already spent so much time or resources on something that it feels like it would be a waste if you stopped.
It's an investment.
Yeah,
They feel like, well, I've already spent 5-10 years of my life with this person. I don't want to start over. So it's like it's more scary to them to start over with the fear of unknown than they'd rather stay with this person, because even though it's shitty, they know it.
at least they got something.
And they have something, and they know what to expect. Like, I think there's a weird, like, I don't know what the right word is for it, but like, you know, there's a comfort zone, and they're comfortable with it because they know that it's going to be.
It's almost
it is
what's
what
that
it is.
one thing where somebody gets kidnapped, but then they become
Oh,
Stockholm syndrome,
yeah, it's
Yeah,
almost like Stockholm
Stockholm.
syndrome.
where you fall in love or can't change.
Yeah,
like,
I just feel like it's a very similar like mental reaction, like the fear of change, like with what you're talking about.
yeah.
Oh, the fear of change is so real.
Yeah.
Because, like, even on, like, a daily basis, stuff like that goes through my head. I'm like, I could use a better job, or I could do this, or I could do that. And it's like just the thought of the change of it all just, like, stops me in my tracks.
It's so scary.
I don't want things to change at all.
yeah.
Yeah, I have some of that too, and that's some of the indecisiveness. Like as far as like when I was telling you guys earlier about traveling or getting on a boat or something like that.
Yeah.
But then I have these moments where it's just like all in,
Yeah,
all
I do
in.
the same
like
thing.
with the podcast shit, like buying all this equipment. Like it went from like, I don't know, guys, to like
Thank you, by the way.
all the fucking way, all in, like
Yeah.
it's just drastic, which sometimes not healthy in my life. This more of a healthy investment. It's good. It's a good all in, but I've had some bad all ins too. So
Yeah.
I've had some oh no's.
And this one doesn't feel
All
like
in,
that
it's
so
not
far,
an
does
all
it?
in that changes to oh no. So far, yeah.
This one doesn't feel too bad right now,
No,
does it?
I'm liking it. I'm enjoying it.
I'm glad that we can, as your friends, help you with keeping this like going steadily. Like where we're at right now compared to a month ago. Like there was like nothing a month ago.
Yeah, this was unused room.
Unused room a
Completely.
month ago. Like everything started right at the beginning of March.
Not only an unused room, unused level of the house.
Yeah, you didn't even want to come
Whole-
up here.
Yeah, there's no use to come up here.
Yeah.
Now I just don't go in my living room.
It's okay. You're only one guy.
Yeah, I know. But
And all your entertainment for the most part is your computer
Yeah.
and your phone, right? And if you're going to probably just play on your phone, you're probably going to just go lay in your bed.
yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I was just joking around.
I
as far
know.
as, like, I can only use so much damn space, It's
Yeah, you're just one person.
And now you have a storm upstairs, so
yeah, that's very cool. I can't wait to get the
so
the
friggin'
moonlight.
awesome.
This room had like drums and boxes and just randomness
Chaos.
everywhere. And it all, started with like Branson and I just saying, well, we got to get a podcast. We got so many good conversations. And even tonight, so many good conversations going on. And we're bottling them and saving them.
Yeah. Like
You know?
that's one thing I want to do. I just noticed anytime that I went to a get together or a party with friends, there would always be some conversation that I was like, man, this would be good to just have
Yeah.
and be like, or other people to not like saying like other people need to listen to us,
But to
but it would just be
enjoy it.
good to have and be like, remember that conversation? Like that was an awesome conversation.
It was.
I think I have a wide group of friends that have like varying eclectic things about them.
Yeah. Well, I'm very excited that we've already gotten it this far.
Yeah.
A month and a half of cleaning up the room, getting stuff in here to make it acoustic first. You bought the Roadcaster. We've gotten, all this other stuff in here. Like, this is comfortable. Like, I feel like we've been talking now. We're almost at 2 hours. And hopefully the new seats are working out for you guys because I'm
Yeah, I'm
still
comfortable.
Yeah, they're
feeling
better
it.
than the last ones. I like the table not being in the middle. You know,
Yeah, and it's more natural to like. I can feel like I can turn my head like when
Yeah.
Paulie comes.
Definitely
He
easier.
he's not gonna have to like whip his head around. All over
Yeah,
the
I was
place.
thinking that earlier too. It's going to be helpful to be set up like this because I can see all of you, and I know that I can't like move my head a ton, but at
Yeah.
least I can make eye contact when someone's talking to me or I'm talking to them. So
Without
Right.
losing the mic.
yeah,
Yeah.
You don't have to be as like attentive to the mic. You
No.
just move your head slightly, like before somebody's right directly to the left of you. You got to turn your head a lot, like you said. So, and I just like that it's providing everybody an opportunity to be creative.
Yeah.
Like
It's an outlet for sure.
that also feels good.
And you got more people coming over to hang out.
I mean, I don't really care about that as much.
I think you do a little bit.
Oh, it's cool and stuff, but it's just like I would have been fine without it. And that's not like saying anything bad about anybody.
No,
it's
I
just
get it.
like I appreciate it and it's fun, but
Well, I appreciate actually getting out of my house and seeing people because if I had the choice, I would probably never leave my
Yeah.
house.
Same.
that's why I was
So,
talking about the staycation.
Yeah.
But yeah, like ever since COVID like happened as well, is that people don't get out and like
No,
do
they
things,
don't.
and there's really not an
Yeah.
option to do things. Like the world kind of just changed
It did.
on a dime on us.
Oh yeah, I for sure changed
And like
with it.
us being from like the middle of the road as far as generations, like we got to experience life like kind of without the technology that we have today and experience the beginning of it, You know,
Yeah.
sometimes you miss the old times of just going out and do stuff. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've definitely been more of a hermit since all of that. So I'm like Kate. I like the social interaction too. The almost like forced social interaction, but it's something I'm enjoying. So it's not like my arms twisted or anything. I do enjoy it, but it's a way to get me out of the house and do something rather than just be home all day.
And it's cooler than like going to the bar on a weekday or.
Yeah, and that's something I would never do. I would never just go to the bar.
Yeah,
I like going to a bar every once in a while, but
not
if
on
you
a
ask me
weekday.
if you ask me if I wanted to go to the bar, I wouldn't be like, yeah, let's go to the bar. You know, I'll go, and I can make fun of it, but it's like not as high on my list. There isn't many options of things to do with people these days.
Yeah, I would much rather be with the people I want to be with.
Yeah.
In an environment like this and hanging out than going
And spending
to
a
bar.
lot less money.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like the money thing. Like, that's why I don't like really going out.
I like to think about it like if I'm going to spend money, I'd rather upgrade the place I'm at the most rather than throw it at a place that, you know, I can go visit once or twice a week. You know?
But every once in a while, I will go out and do something like that just to see people I don't see. Like
nothing wrong with it every once in a
who
while.
I run into, but like the running into people is getting smaller and smaller because, like I said, with things, COVID changed, and also people my age are getting older, you know, so or have settled down.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I like what we got going here.
Me too.
I'm glad you guys came over tonight.
Yeah.
We got to have this talk.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem. And I hope you guys come back sometime soon.
Yeah.
Well, I know you guys will be back because we're scheduling it, but
Maybe we'll be back.
yeah, and whoever's listening, we appreciate you listening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.